JS1 Tha Supplier, VVCRadio.com, Aries Lounge, one-on-one conversations, man. I am excited. I am fucking blessed. I'm stoked. I'm gonna use those Caucasian-y terms. I'm freaking stoked today. I got a legend in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you don't know what you looking at on the screen. I know y'all know me, and I know y'all kind of, sort of, but look, let me tell you, this man right here is one of the originators. This is one of the gentlemen that inspired me to become an artist, dog. He is somebody that I used to listen to their music obsessively. Yo, CD on repeat, my nigga. Yeah, CD, back when CDs was being played. That ought to give you an idea how long this gentleman's been in the game. He represents from a group called LMS, straight out of Baltimore City. The just gentleman to my right is named Eric Nell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our boss in the building. How you doing, brother?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I can't complain at all. Man.
It is an honor to have you on my platform, yo. You an ill guy, yo.
Having me, man.
Woo. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. You've been in the game a hell of a long time. If I've been in this, if I've been alive 40 years, I see a good at least 20 of it. I've had the pleasure of LMS's music, being a part of it.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, like, how did you even start? Before we get into LMS, I got to get the whole story.
All right.
So, like, you were born and raised in Baltimore?
Yeah. Born and raised in Baltimore.
East side, west side?
West side. I was born in Baltimore City in Edmondson, then later on moved out to Randallstown.
Okay. Nigga came on up, yo.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Single mom, you feel me? Did her thing, you know.
Okay.
Decided, she wanted something better. Moved out there. Yeah, man.
That's what's up. So in your youth, I always start with this question. Before you could touch the radio when you was a kid, what was predominantly coming out of the radio? What were you listening to?
Nigga, you ain't gonna believe this, man.
Dookie Man said it was rock and roll when he was a kid, so I can believe anything.
I remember, I'll never forget this shit, man. Like, before, we all got those Michael Jackson stories, you know what I'm saying? Before that, it was Another One Bites the Dust, man. I remember that song, just that beat, that boom, boom, boom. I remember that shit. You feel me?
Bites the Dust.
And the first record I ever got, my dad, I was, like I said, it was a single parent household, you know what I'm saying? But my dad, for some reason, knew that I liked this song, you know what I'm saying? So he came past the house, when your father ain't really there, he pop up, it's like Christmas, you feel me? This nigga brought, what he buy? Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling.
Wow, that's one of my joints, man. Yeah. That's one of my joints.
I mean, so it was always, music around the house, you know what I'm saying? Always music around the house, you know what I'm saying? Like with my mom, and my dad would stop past, bring records, shit like that. So yeah, I got a love for music early.
That's crazy.
And I think I was 5 years old, and there was you might remember this. There was a Michael Jackson contest in Westview Mall. They shut the whole fucking mall down, right?
Wow.
Michael Jackson contest. And I hit the stage number 5. I think I was the 5th one to go on stage, you know what I'm saying? And I did the moonwalk, and I'll never forget Randy Dennis the next day shouting me out on V103.
Wow.
That was it for me, man. Like, once I heard that, my mother started putting me in those contests. At that point, I was like, yo, this is it for me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that there was a 9 to 5 people had to work. I didn't understand none of that shit. All I knew is that Michael Jackson performs. When I perform like Michael Jackson, I get a lot of love. Randy Dennis shouts me out on V103, and that's all I cared about.
Word.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Randy Dennis. That's ill. I might have to find that nigga and get him on.
That's somewhere. Is he?
He should be. Hey, we don't know, but I feel like that's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we move from that to when was your first experience? And I would like to note that you said my dad bought me vinyl.
Yeah.
So like that. Let that be a descriptive moment. All right. So when was the first time you experienced hip hop that you remember? I mean, obviously,
I can tell you, man.
Okay.
9 years old. That's when I started rapping. It was LL Cool J. Yeah, man. He I can't remember what skate. What the fuck was it called? I can't remember the name of the spot, but he was at some skate rink. Valley Terrace is. If you come out to the county now, Valley Terrace is near, I think, Aries. That's where it's at. Yo, a limo pulled up outside, and this nigga asked to use this lady named Miss Dolores' bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Now, in my mind, I'm like, yo, he had radio out then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had that joint out. He came up, I'm just in awe. Like, yo, this is this can't be, it's LL Cool J. And from that point on, I think a little later on, he dropped Bigger and Deffer. And my mom, she knew about the language in it, but she didn't care. She was like, you know what? I ain't never seen him this interested in anything since this Michael Jackson.
Right.
And in my mind, I knew I would never be able to sing like Mike.
Right.
So I knew I could rap like LL because I knew all his lyrics, and I started taking his lyrics, putting my lyrics over top of the cadence. Yeah. And that's where it started, man. From that point on, every day of my life, man, has been, even when I lost the love for it, has been dedicated to hip hop.
So what was it about LL that drew you to him? Like, what was it? Was it his rhyme style? Because I mean, he wasn't the first rapper, so you know what I'm saying. There was Rakim's, there was Big Daddy Kane's, so what made you choose him versus some of the other guys?
Well, you got to think at the time, you know, when LL was coming out, when radio dropped, he was like 14, 15 years old.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a young kid. My older cousins, they wearing Kangos. My female cousins and their homegirls, you know, I'm like I said, I'm like 9 years old. They
right.
12, 13, 14. All the girls that I wanted to be with loved LL. You know what I'm saying? He the only nigga that's out here rapping, getting all the dudes respect, and he getting all the women.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it was
That's
just a different fact. Just like people to listen now and be like, damn, the Migos, their sound is so much different from what I grew up listening to.
Correct.
That's what LL was. He got away from that Houdini shit. He got away, even the Slick Rick. He got away from all that. Like his patterns were just something totally different at that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody explain it in that way, and you are 100% correct.
Man.
Like that, I think LL Cool J marked the change of the sound and even the change of how it would be viewed. You know what I'm saying? I think they were talking about how his choices and outfits and certain things kind of marked a whole different swag. Even the whole catering to the chicks, you know what I mean? And kind of like the way he did it. Not saying the other rappers didn't do that, but it was just the way he went about it. You know, even shirts. Well, no, niggas was doing shirts off before that, but
they were like leather outfits, shingles and shit like that. Then you got Run DMC. They come out, you know, they got streetwear, but it was still different. It looked like a uniform that these three guys. Right. LL, every time you see him, it's something different. He got a troop sweatsuit on. He might have Lecoq Sportif. So it told you what they were doing in the streets.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? That's what when you saw LL, you like, okay, this is how we supposed to dress. You know what I mean?
That's different.
Yeah, man. LL was he is to that entire generation what I think Jay-Z would be
to this generation.
Yeah, to this one. Yeah.
To a certain extent. That's why they bumped heads so hard at that one time. Like, I really felt like they was trying to make Jay-Z be over LL. I was like, man, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you know what I mean? That's like trying to make the younger generation take charge of the newer one. It's like, nah, that's not how it's supposed to happen. Like, let the two peacefully coexist. First of all, the younger generation need the older generation. So like, you know, you need to learn from one generation to the next. So like, if you trying to be over them, you not listening. You just telling niggas what to do and shit. Yeah. So like, you know, and you gotta let that peaceful transition happen. Like, yo, I feel like there's a time, I feel like hip hop so represents regular life in such a way where the older artists had to learn how to transition, meaning they had to learn how to not try to be young kids. Yo, there's a point where you accept I'm older, my content needs to change to reflect that, my image needs to change to reflect that. Jay-Z's not gonna come out with a big buckle pair of jeans on, you know what I mean, with a belt on, with it super tight. He gonna wear what he like to wear. He's gonna talk about the subject matter that's relevant to him, being married, having children. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like that 444 was the best and first representation of being a transitional artist. Now I'm a legacy act, and as a legacy act, I will conduct myself as that. So, and then that made the way for the T.I., because like T.I. dropped the album of the same type. That it was called Dime Trap, and it was all grown man music. You know what I'm saying? Right. But anyway, we'll get into that later. But all right, so you started listening to LL. Yeah. Moms let you listen to it. You start writing rhymes. So what starts happening as you're creating, you writing rhymes, and then like, yo, you can bring in other music as well. I mean, is there any other music that kind of influenced you in that same journey? Because it's funny how your journey kind of mirrors mine, but mine began with Mobb Deep and yours kind of began with, with LL Cool J.
So when you have, like, you're listening to LL, but you come from an era where it was still Purple Rain. You know what I'm saying? Our MTV didn't have too many black stars, you know. So you still had Madonnas, shit, man. You had Wham on there,
facts.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
a
So when you got George Michael, and then you have, like I said, Madonna, and then you got Cyndi Lauper. There's so much going on. In the time that we came up in, everything was new. Like everything was changing, even down to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It was a time when wrestling was huge. Like the biggest it's ever been. I know people talk about other things, but we've seen so much in our time where we've seen the entire culture change. You know, where we, like you said, we go from KRS-One, LL, you know, the people before, the people before. Then we go to something new, you know, like you said, the Mobb Deep, the Nas, all that. We've seen so many golden eras of everything. You know, so like I said, with the LL Cool J still in my mind, I didn't think that I could do George Michael shit. You know, that ain't my lane. You know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Billy Ocean, that's not my lane. You know, so with it starting with LL, and I started, you know, saying little rhymes to my friends and stuff like that. Of course, it moved to one of my favorite rappers of all time, hands down. And niggas die laughing when I say that. They're like, yo, he not really a rapper though. Eazy-E, man. You know, like, that's somebody
definition of a real nigga.
Yeah, and see, that was what I realized at that point was it was bigger than just lyrics. Then it was, you know, shock value. Then you started listening to the beats that they were rhyming over. And you looking at their lifestyle, and where we come from, you know, we know Baltimore, but at the time we really didn't know Baltimore. We knew the music, you know what I'm saying? So all I cared about was New York, because that's all I heard. Then NWA comes along, and you like, shit, man, they talking about Bloods and Crips and dope and hookers, and it was just something totally different that I wasn't really accustomed to, you know. And again, it had an effect on the way I wrote my rhymes. So you're looking at a 11, 12-year-old writing the wildest shit. You know, I ain't experienced shit, you feel me? But I'm writing the wildest shit that I could come up with, you know, and it just it took my imagination somewhere else, you know.
That's deep. And the fact that you admit that different musical influences influence your creativity. Yeah. I feel like the true creative is a sponge. So like, you put anything in front of them, they can either mimic it, they can draw off of it, you know what I mean? They'll go again, they can counter it, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a mark of a true creative. Like, I definitely understand that. Like, cause I know some dope young people, well, they older now, but when I was coming up, like, yo, I could play a record, they'll rewrite the same shit. Like, they can make the beat the same way, they can write rhymes to mimic the person that's flipping it. Yeah. And then you had people that are just completely themselves. Like, it don't matter what you put in front of them, they're always going to reflect who they are. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I feel like both of them are true. I feel like an artist is an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, an artist can't help but create whatever it is that influences them or affects them. Right. So anyway, when did we get to the first time when you start creating music? I mean, like, is it as far as recording it, were you with the group first or were you recording first?
No, actually, I was recording first. Yeah, I was recording.
Now, how the hell did that come about? Where did you start going? Because this ain't now where you had a laptop.
Yeah. So back then, you know, everybody wanted to be a DJ. Right. Everybody and their mother wanted to be a DJ. And if you had a sampler, you were that nigga. In the neighborhood, if you had a sampler, you were that nigga. You could go ahead, sample a couple seconds of it and just loop it. So what would happen, we started, you know, doing that, sampling, going to people's houses, rhyming over beats, stuff like that. My buddy Troy, I never forget, he was like, yo, we should start a rap group. He's like, I'm gonna be the DJ, because you had to have a DJ back then, you know what I'm saying? And at this time, I think we might have been in like ninth grade, something like that, 9th or 10th grade. So I would go up there, you know, record a few records, and a guy named Philip Stokes, man, he heard me and he was like, yo, come down the crib. You know, he was dating my cousin at the time. He's like, yo, come down the crib, yo, you know, you can record a song. Because I know that they were I'm lying, they were in college at that time. You know, you 9th grade, you know what I'm saying? The college DJs, they like, yo, come through, record a song. So I went down there, started recording shit, ended up getting my own turntables, and that's when I was able to experiment with different sounds, when I started recording myself. Because a lot of times, you know, at that age, you're trying to develop your sound, your confidence isn't really there. Correct. You know, and it even happens nowadays. A lot of people won't admit it, but you go in, it's a room full of niggas, you like, these niggas they not gonna see my vision. You know, and a lot of times you don't want to show people how the magic trick is done.
That's a fact.
You know, so at that time I was able to go in and just start to experiment with my sound. You know, but I'm gonna tell you, the main thing that made me decide that I was gonna experiment with my sound was rapping with people in school. It's a difference when I had to have all of these bars ready, you know, and you get into a cipher. I said around, to this day, I still remember it. I said something about some girl making semen disappear like the Bermuda Triangle. I'll never forget that rhyme. And everybody
That's
there,
hard even today.
you know what I'm saying? Everybody there was rhyming, but when I said that, I noticed how that one little line made the girls laugh. So I was like, okay, so that's what it is. Then to my friends back in the neighborhood, I would play some shit that I was doing, and I was influenced by niggas. Ain't gonna believe this shit neither. Domino. You remember Domino from the West Coast?
From the West Coast.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, so
back. Yeah, that was my shit.
So I started taking those bars and playing with those different melodies. And that's one thing that Phil told me. Like, when I would rap, he'd be like, yo, I mean, everybody can rap, nigga. He was like, you're your best. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, everybody can rap, nigga. He's like, you're your best when you use these melodies. You know, but when I started rapping, my only goal, like when I got serious, my only goal was for a nigga to do what I did. And that was walk to get my CD, because I left school to go get Illmatic. I cut school and walked from Randallstown to Orange Mills Mall to buy Illmatic.
That was a moment for
Nigga,
a lot of dudes.
God,
Illmatic is a moment.
That CD taught me. When I put it on, I said, I ain't shit. That was my
okay,
first.
I've never heard that before.
No,
like that's
the first time I heard it, when he was talking about, you know, the kids in the lobby couldn't see as high as I be, and I was like, not only can they not look up and see him, but they can't see as high as he is because he's been smoking. I said, man, I ain't shit, man. Like, my goal was just to not even be as nice as him. Just say, if I could just have somebody be a fan of mine to go to a mall and get my shit, I'm happy. Like, I'm good with that.
Oh, nigga, mission accomplished twice.
I appreciate that, man.
Mission accomplished. And y'all niggas shit wasn't cheap, nigga, because a poor nigga back then, I think y'all, the first CD I bought, I think was like $9.99.
Oh my God, yeah,
they
man.
was raping me, and there was only 3 records on that bitch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then the second one, I think I spent $7.99 on that motherfucker. So yeah, you came up for real. Y'all niggas came up off.
Somebody came up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Somebody came up.
All right, we gonna get to that part
man.
of the story.
Yeah.
So you writing rhymes? Okay, so the dude, did you go over to the guy's house and record a song?
Well, we went over there. Like I said, my man Phil Stokes went over there recording songs. Now later on, what happened? My cousin and I, man, my man Marcus, Forbidden. This is fast forwarding a little bit. We did a demo tape. You know, just something. Just not really fucking around. I ain't gonna lie, because we were dead serious about what we were doing. But we just, you know, went to a guy's house. Like I said, he had a turntable, had a little 4-track, put something together, and it got in the hands of my buddy Larry. So at this time, the guy Jinx, his name, he produces now, J Mac. Jinx was dealing with these guys, John and Vic, and a guy named T Hart, my man Tori. So they wanted to do some music with Juwan's and Jinx. And, you know, they liked what was happening, but they said, we want to bring somebody else in. So they brought in blacks. So at the time, Jinx and I didn't get along. I'm talking about at all. We ain't like each other, nigga. We ain't liked each other since middle school. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. His son is my nephew to this day, man. This is my man. But at the time, man, we just didn't get along. But him and Larry were real cool. So Larry hit me and said, listen, man, yo, Mac want to holler at you. You know, he want y'all to come do a couple songs or whatever. I said, all right, cool. So we went down there. The plan was to have blacks be solo, Jinx be solo, and my cousin and I were Dynasty. You know what I mean? So it was Eric Nell and Forbidden. We were going to be Dynasty. So we went down there. We all did a song together. And that night, if I'm not mistaken, we recorded Pure Necessities. I'm almost positive we did Pure Necessities. And that was it. They said, nah, fuck this. They were like, we think y'all better as a group. But what I really think happened was they didn't have enough money to market us separately. So they were like, you know what? Let's bring y'all together as a group. And then later on, they had a bright idea. Then we'll split y'all up and do something different then. But
Y'all
That was the way it
y'all was
came
gonna
out.
pull a Wu-Tang.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they were just like, that's the way we're gonna do it. You know, of course, you know, Mac was like the thinker. You know, they brought me in. They said that I was the entertainer. They felt Forbidden was the lyricist, and then Blacks, you know, he brought that street side to it. You know what I mean? So, and that's how, you know, LMS started.
So my question now comes to, how did that name what does LMS stand for, number one, and then who came up with it?
They'll say, I mean, that somebody else came up with it. I ain't mistaken. I think me and Tori came up with it. I think Tori and I came up with it. It stood for Last Man Standing. Because at the time, we were big on that Bruce Willis movie. That was my shit.
Shit is fire.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
fire.
it stuck. You know, they were like, they wanted something that was very simple. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted some letters, and we was just like, yo, Last Man Standing. Because at that point, it was just so many people that were trying to work with them and stuff like that. And it was like, yo, it came down to y'all four. So we like, all right, cool. You know, let's run with that.
That's ill.
Yeah.
So who made the beat for Pure Necessity?
T Hart, my man Tori, made the beat.
Now, how many beats did y'all sift through before you got
None.
to the...
That was it. He put that beat on, and he was like, yo, what you got? And I was like, yo, we got this hook. So I went in, I did my verse, and then Marcus, I think he did something. He did the car verse, and in the end, we like, yo, we gonna go back and forth.
You know how insane that is? This hip hop classic, this Baltimore hip hop legendary joint, it's just a nigga pulled up a beat and then said, what y'all niggas got to it? And it kind of makes sense now, because you like, some niggas' verses is way longer than others, and it was just like, but it was just a soundtrack to the streets at one point. So, all right, so you record the record. Do you believe in the record after listening to the finished product? Did you listen to it and go, yeah, this gonna go? How did you feel about the record?
I'm gonna tell you, and this is what's crazy. We recorded that record, and my cousin was laughing on the way home, and I said, yo, I told you that this was gonna happen. I had told him, because he was in the 11th, no, I just got out of school, so he was in the going into the 12th grade, and I told him, I said, yo, I'm gonna get you a record deal before your senior year. And I think that was like around 11th, 12th grade, something like that. And I told him that because I just felt like together we were that nice. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of people that played a part in us getting there, because we would see other people in rhyme and get our asses with. I'd be like, yo, we got to tighten this up and tighten that up. So for like a summer, we just got to a point where every day was lyrical exercise. That's what it was. We get together, we write rhymes. Let me hear it. All right, let's see how fast we can memorize it and shit like that, you know? So when we listened to the song, I said, yo, we gonna get a deal. But I felt like we were just gonna get an independent deal with, you know, that label. And that was it. You know, they just putting something out. But I felt like it was gonna go when we got a cease and desist letter.
What? Wait a minute. Where did that come from?
I knew. I said, oh shit. Erykah Badu had a sample in there. And Raekwon had a sample in there. My house, yeah, bank account fat. It's going down like that. They said, take that shit the fuck out of that song. You know, so at that point, all I heard in my mind is, and this isn't the way it works, of course. I know it's really the legal department that heard it. In my mind, Erykah Badu heard the shit, and Raekwon's heard the shit.
And they beefing.
I was just happy. I was just so happy. Like, oh shit, they heard my shit. And niggas like, no, they didn't, Eric. Yo, it just means that somebody at the label heard. I said, well, that's good enough for me. Yo, what we gonna do now? We took that out, and they decided at that point, like I said, we were gonna be a group, and they were gonna shoot this video, and that was it.
So from that point, did y'all sign an agreement?
Yeah, we signed some goddamn Django deal. You know what I'm saying?
What was the name of the label?
At first, it was Pyramid Records, and we got another cease and desist, because for some reason they were like, there was another Pyramid Records.
There is
another
somewhere. Pyramid Records. There's a very large company called Pyramid Records.
And again, you know, being young, you know what I'm saying, we had no idea, and we ended up changing it to Hostile Entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you own Hostile Entertainment?
No.
Oh, okay.
John and Vic. Guys, John and Vic owned Hostile Entertainment.
Got you. Because I think Hostile Entertainment was when you did the Blacks and Eric Nell joint, right?
Right.
The second joint that I bought. Yeah. Okay. So the song gets recorded. They put it out. They make some changes because of the cease and desist. Y'all decide to shoot the video. At this point, everybody cool. So nobody's beefing with the new version of the record.
Nah, we were cool.
So y'all cool. You signed a contract. Right. Did y'all get in advance or was it just a deal?
No, it was just a deal. Okay. At that time, it was just a deal. And it's crazy because looking back on shit, you look at shit and say, like I made the statement, it was a Django deal, slave deal, and this and that. The fucked up thing is nobody knows.
Right.
You got young guys raising younger guys. You know what I'm saying? So it was never any animosity once we got older, you know what I'm saying? Because this was really like a family.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you got your older brothers saying, listen, I believe in you.
Right.
We gonna put this out. We gonna be big.
Right.
So it was one of those situations.
I'm not gonna lie to you. At one point, I owned a record label. I put 2 of my cousins under contract. I had 3 of my homeboys under contract. I couldn't tell you what was in the goddamn contract.
Right. Yeah.
Only thing I did, I went to a lawyer and was like, yo, I need standard contracts so that I can sign these niggas and we gonna do. Nobody read them shits. We was just pumped that we had the paperwork. It was
what gets bad is the fact that this is where shit goes downhill when actual money is being made. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see shit, people will say a lot of stuff like, yo, keep your publishing. You know what I'm saying? You'll get 5% of this if the album sells this many. Now, what they don't expect is that motherfucker's gonna sell, and you're not even thinking that the overhead is gonna be there. So, but you gotta pay me that. It's in the contract.
Right.
But you gotta pay me that. Yeah. So that's when shit goes downhill.
So, because if I remember correctly, now did the song take off on the radio before y'all shot the video, or did y'all really kind of push it all together?
The song took off. When I say took off, it was probably, I want to say a couple months, if that. It seemed like the song was recorded, it hit the radio, and all hell broke loose with the video. Okay. You know what I mean? But the problem is, people see that video, and what I kept telling them, I said, yo, this is going to come out. We need a follow-up. We need something to follow up with ASAP. And not only do we need something to follow up with, the world thinks we're rich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially at that time, because again, music was changing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have Drew Hill coming out, and Baltimore is focused on that.
Did come out around the same time Drew Hill came out.
Yeah,
y'all was fucked.
You know, yeah.
So it's like fucked from the
Drew
beginning.
Hill is coming out. So what do you do at this point? You know what I'm saying? It's like you got a 4-man group, then you got a 4-man rap group here. You know what I'm saying? And then these guys, major label. Then you have an independent label here. But the problem is, as you know, if you start doing something, the best thing to do is keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're doing something, something's going to come of it. The second you start to slow down, all hell breaks loose. And that's kind of what happened. But what I didn't expect was, for the video to come out, us to get the response that we got, and the album didn't follow up right away. So now it's like, it's go time, you know? So when we would go out of town, because we had to go to like different studios, things of that nature, we go out of town, and it'd be crazy to see, I'll never forget, like Philly, the response we got out there. Again, I'm a kid from Baltimore.
Records playing in Philly?
Yeah, and because it was on like BET, like AM and stuff like that.
So that other DJs and stuff start picking it up.
Yeah, and then the box playing. Is really where shit went haywire. What? The box, man, was just incredible. Like, I mean, I had family members that I hadn't talked to in years. You know what I'm saying? Some I didn't know exist, but they really were my family members. You know what I'm saying? They hit me like, yeah, yo, I'm such and such and this and that. I'm like, God damn. People were really supporting that. The whole city supported us a lot on Jukebox.
So let me take it back to some technical shit, because I don't know how much you know and don't know. So like in that time period, there was no MP3 to email somebody. Right. So the thing is, if the records was getting around, for a DJ to play the records, even the radio station, somebody had to been printing vinyl and shipping it. So the team or the label that you had, they had at least enough money to do vinyl, to do the record pools,
exactly.
and get a distribution. Okay, so they were efficient enough and intelligent, and I'm not trying to say they weren't intelligent, but like at that time, there were a lot of people starting companies had no idea of a record pool, vinyl.
Idea, man.
All right, even to approach the radio station and try to build a relationship to keep the record spinning. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I think that's impressive, and it needs to be honored and respected. The fact that them niggas at least took the proper steps. All right, we got the record,
right?
And it was how many records on that? So when the vinyl came out, did it have the other two records on it?
Yeah, it actually had. Well, actually, the first one only had Pure Necessities. Then the second one had Pure Necessities, Home City Slaughter, and Worldwide.
Right.
Was on that.
And then that ended up being the single that was released in the stores.
Right.
So did the single get released pre-video or did it get released post-video?
No, post-video.
Okay, cool. All right, so the record took off, and then niggas went, "Oh shit, we need to hurry up and get this shit done." Okay, so the video comes out. It's on the box. It's on this. The single comes out. What is your emotion at this point in time? Yo, you a 90s kid, bro. Right. This is not internet. Right. So for you to go to a store and see a CD, it's right there, nigga. It was behind the counter, nigga. It was right there. Like you could look up. I would walk in that bitch and I'd be like, I need that right there. Shrink wrapped and all that. Like, what's the feeling like?
There was no feeling. If that makes sense. You know, like a lot of people sit, all right.
I mean, you spent a lot of time. You telling me you spent a whole summer with Forbidden and y'all trying to get it together just to spit the rhymes right, and then you go from that to
that. But that's what it was about. It was the joy of just being able to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just loved music so much. That's what it was. It's like, for instance, somebody will look and say, "Yo, you got the podcast, man. Look, you got all this. You know how to edit and everything." To you, it's
just what I do.
Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll come in here like, "Damn, man, this is nice." It's just Tuesday. Right. You know, so I didn't understand at the time, because I've always just been me. Anybody you talk to will be like, "Man, he been the same nigga since he was 9 years old when he first started rapping." You know what I mean? So by me going to the store and I see the record, I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's the record." It's crazy. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a cocky type of thing, or you know what I mean? And it wasn't even like an exciting thing, to be honest with you, because we weren't anywhere. In my mind, it's just like, man,
but you were so far from where so many other people. Right, but that's the thing, that when you're in the moment, sometimes it doesn't register. Right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't register. Like, it's so interesting. Like, you saying that, it's I literally had the same experience, but I knew that I had slaved to get to that place. So it was a different moment. But like, yo, I always, like, even, I mean, I guess I had so much of an awe moment, because hearing the record on the radio, the Pure Necessities record, and then like listening to 88.9 when they was doing strictly hip hop, and then that's when they would play the B-side and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, "Oh, this shit hard." Like, yo, cause I never heard a Baltimore rapper. I think before y'all, I don't think I remember hearing another Baltimore rapper except for Pork Chop. But I bought Pork Chop's CD just because I bought y'all's, and I was like, "Oh, this is another Baltimore nigga. Let me hear this shit." I didn't know Pork Chop was on the radio. I didn't know he was working in the clubs. I was like, I thought he was just a rapper. So I heard, I was like, "Oh, this shit hard too." Yeah. You know what I mean? And then comes, I could go on and on and on. Like, there's so many MCs that come after that. But anyway,
before, you know, they had like who was like K-Mac, Annex Click. And, and it's one guy, I forgot his name.
You had homeboy that was, I think, either related to or connected to Cisco. So he was doing some shit too at the time. I keep forgetting his name, dog. Like, Cooley High had a record out. Okay. He had dropped an album called Crown Vic. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't get as much love as y'all was getting, because y'all had the popular record. You know what I mean? And then
I think it's because, like, who strikes first? You know what I mean? Right. And then it's like somebody struck first, and not only did they do that, but they put a video on the box. Like, what the fuck is going on? And it came out of nowhere.
And then it was the legend and the lore of y'all doing shows and people seeing y'all. I seen them LMS niggas, yo. Yeah. I remember when somebody told me I seen them niggas, they was riding around in a legend. And I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody had stories. So it was like, because y'all were, to them, to us, y'all were celebrities. Y'all were, you know, the people that made it. Like, you know what I mean?
But I think it's more so the fact that before any of that shit happened, we were who we were. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, we were just some niggas, you know, cool niggas that was dressing nigga, you know what I mean? The funny nigga. So it always was, we were who we were. You know what I'm saying? So when you get a spot like like that. Because it always comes, no matter who you are. If you the nigga on your block, the point is it's gonna be a spotlight on you at some time.
That's a fact.
And it's gonna light up some good shit and some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? Some bad shit. You know,
that's a fact.
Yeah, but at the time, like I said, man, it was just normal. You know what I'm saying? It was just normal because we wake up, we go to the studio, you know, it was just another goddamn day.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. So at this point, y'all are rushing into the studio to finish an album. So what else is going on around you at that time while you're recording? Are you taking major label meetings, or y'all just focusing on recording? Like, what's going on?
We started going to a lot of record pool meetings because like I said, music was changing. So when I would, you know, back then you would get like tapes. You might get like the Nas live tape, I remember, was circulating. And I never forget, it was a song I heard. It was Gun Runner, and then another song called It's a Hit, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to play these shits back to back to back to back to back. Went to the record pool meeting, and I'm standing at the bar, and the nigga played his songs, and I knew as soon as I heard, I was like, that's that fucking It's a Hit. So the nigga went over to the bar. I walked up. I was like, yo, what's up, man? You know, shook his hands like, I'm eating. He was like, oh, they played your joint. Yeah, you know, I like that. Like, he's like, which verse was yours? I was like, the first. He was like, yeah, I like that shit, man. I'm like, yo, you want a drink? He's like, nah, I don't want no drink. And I wanted to rap to the nigga. It was 50 Cent. I'll never forget this shit. So I'm sitting talking to this, and I'm like, yo, that fucking It's a Hit, man. I said, yo, that shit is a monster. And I was naming some other songs that I got my hands on. And I was telling him, he was like, just looking like, how the fuck this nigga hear that shit? And I never forget this nigga telling me, man, he was like, yo, where you from? I told him. He said, yo, you gotta leave. And I was like, this nigga told me I gotta leave. He's like, yo, who you working with? And I'm saying, like, you know, local people and this and that. He's like, yo, I just came over, I did the Onyx joint, I did this, I did. He said, yo, listen, if you serious about this, you gotta leave. And yo, that shit just stuck in my mind. You know, conversation after that was just about beat stuff like that. When it's handshake, yo, pleasure to meet you, brother. Thanks for everything. But I just remember him saying, yo, you have to leave. And I realized that I wasn't even where I felt, or we weren't where I felt we should be in Baltimore. Let alone the world. Like, yo, this nigga just said he doing shit with Onyx, and he was doing some other shit. You remember, Destiny's Child was on his first album, on the Columbia shit. And I'm like, yo, this nigga signed to Columbia. Something's not right.
But that's back before Destiny's Child took off for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he could be with Onyx because he was on JMJ Records, and all of them was.
Think about where he is.
Right.
And now we both standing
as a
here.
nobody, he's still light years ahead of where
and I'm like, we both standing here. I'm a fan of this song. This nigga telling me I got what it takes, but something's not connecting here. You know what I mean? Like, something's not right here. And yo, that, like I said, yo, that conversation right there, just changed a lot for me, man. It changed a whole lot. So, as far as the label meetings, what they were trying to do at first, you know, they thought about selling the group, you know what I mean, just managing the group. Then they said, yo, you know what, we need like a label deal, something like that. Blacks can tell you more about this, but there was a meeting when, was it Penalty or Tommy Boy, somebody came down. This is the main one I remember. A lot of shit was, you know, behind closed doors, whatever. But I never forget, we were in the studio one night. He said, listen, yo, you know, the A&Rs are coming through. You know, they want to talk to everybody. They came. It was two guys. They listened to some songs. You know, they asked some questions. They rolled out. You know, I ain't think nothing of it. You know, I think me and Forbidden left. We went to get something to drink or whatever. And Blacks had told me, yo, they wanted y'all to. They wanted you and Forbidden. And from what I hear, they offered like 250 grand. And niggas turned it down. And, oh shit, man, this is 98, yo. 97, 98. When you talking 250 grand in that time.
That's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of money now, but it's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, but that's fuck up money right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money to fuck up. You know what I mean? But yeah, back then, man.
Back then, that was
like
serious.
I said, you know, Blacks could tell you more about that. At that time, man, my mind wasn't even focused on that. It was just focused on what the fuck are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make the greatest music possible.
Wow. So, all right. Time goes on, as it always does. So, does the album get finished?
If I'm not mistaken, thinking back, we're working on the album. Tory got locked up. So Tory got locked. It was a lot of shit, man. It it was a lot of shit. This should be like straight out of documentary.
I don't mean to interrupt you. So we're talking about how long is the recording process? So you talking about, did they take a year? Is it taking 6 months? Is it 3 weeks? What's the time period that it took for y'all to record the album?
We're looking at probably like I'm gonna say like 9 months.
Hi.
Yeah,
and nobody's working a day job at this point?
Nah.
So is the label at least taking care of y'all? Here's some dollars for some weed and drinks and is there like any kind of budget? Because them niggas is making money. Don't tell them you ain't gonna lie to me to say their niggas ain't making no money.
And that's where it started to get a little tricky, where it's like, okay, we're going back and forth, like we're going out of town. We might go to a few, like I said, record pool meetings out of town. We might go and do a show, and I'm like, again, something's not right. I never forget going to the docks, and niggas probably kill me for telling this story. We go to the docks to do a show, and Fridays used to be live down there, motherfucker. We do the show. I think nigga paid me what I get, like $100. Now I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at all because I'm like, all right, doing the show is doing the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you from Baltimore at that time, you just want to do a show and have people there.
That's a fact.
What I'm saying? So when you walk in, it's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real.
So it's packed out?
Yeah. And
the Paradox is packed out?
Yeah, and of course it's a lot.
That's 1,000 niggas. Easy.
It's a lot of our homeboys, but not in the front part though.
Oh, okay.
Not in the front part.
Okay. All right.
And it's a lot of our homeboys and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That were in there. But the point is, man, we were in there. We did our thing. The shit was live. Got a we got $100 each. But I'm sitting like, wait a minute, it's 4 niggas. I know this is real petty, but I'm just like, it's 4 of us. Where the other 100 at? That's just how my mind works. You know what I'm saying? Like, something ain't right. This ain't making sense to me.
Why couldn't you get a $400 payout day?
Yeah,
why all of a sudden now it's got to be $500?
Like, where's my 120? It should have been 120. If they paid us $500.
Did they? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you knew they paid you $500. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
And in my mind, I was like, yo, I really don't know if it was that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of shit just started popping in my head. But again, we're dealing young guys raising young guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the shit that we got, like, knowledge-wise, man, it was given to us by, man, people like Sean Caesar. I never forget, you know what I'm saying? Sean Caesar, he, said how shit should go, radio-wise, stuff like that. It was a lot of people that, stepped in to help. But again, we're still young guys being mentored by young guys, and nobody knows what the fuck we're doing.
And Sean Caesar was still technically kind of a young guy at the time.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but he was more successful because he had so much more going on.
Right.
So I think he might have had a little bit more education, pertaining to that type of situation. So shout out to my OG, Sean Caesar. You know what I mean? When's the last time you talked to him?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you. It's probably been.
I gotta get y'all linked up. I gotta get y'all together.
99, 2000.
That was the last time you talked to him?
Yeah, probably like 99. Yeah, around that time.
Oh, I gotta link you out with him.
Yeah,
the OG's still out here kicking and making it happen, dog.
Yeah, man.
He's the big dog, like for real. But we can talk about that another time.
Okay.
So, all right, I want to get back to the story because it's heating up for me, and I'm excited, and I gotta chill. So, like, the 400, you should have got 5.
Yeah, man.
All right. So what the fuck? So you start fighting niggas? Come on, we Baltimore niggas.
I'm just start to look at things where it's kind of crazy when, again, because of the type of person I am, where, again, I've always been who I am. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you might get drunk Eric or high Eric or some dumb shit, but at the root of it, I've always been just the same person I am. You know what I mean? So as I was recording and going to do interviews and doing this and doing that, I started meeting more and more people. You know what I'm saying? I never forget, when you that age and you walk into the club and Quicksilver, you know what I mean, to shout you out. Miss Tony was big back then.
Right.
And he shouted, we got E Nell in the building. You start looking at shit where you like, yo, I'm more known than I am paid. And this is not a great feeling. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really never want for nothing because, I'm around niggas. It's like, I got you. Don't worry about that. But nah, man, I'm not that type of guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it just got to a point where I was like, yo, something's not right here. You know what I mean? Like, it's money being made, but we're not seeing any of it. And then on the flip side, everybody that wanted to come in and say, listen, leave them, come over here, we gonna manage you. I didn't feel like that was right because these guys got us to this point. You know what I'm saying? Correct. It's like Vince McMahon when he says, you don't leave with that fucking name.
Right.
I own the Ultimate Warrior. You know what I'm saying? I own that name because I built you up. How dare you go over here to WCW and make them money?
Right.
And that's how I looked at it. Like, nah, man, I can't go sign with anybody else. Like, we just need to sit down and talk and really, you know, see what's going on. You know, so being that we were like the little brothers to our big brothers that, you know, were running the label, it became a situation where we just couldn't coexist. Yeah, we just couldn't coexist.
So I gotta ask. So do you take the meeting? Y'all sit down. What ended up being the straw that made you leave and be like, yo, I can't be a part of this no more? Was it a necessity for like, all right, I want to get a check? Was it, I want to see more progress? What was it?
What happened was, Blacks was very close to Vic. You know what I'm saying? That was like everybody always got their favorites. You know what I'm saying? Vic rolled for Blacks. You know what I'm saying? That was his nigga. John used to always be like, yo, niggas ain't fucking with that nigga Eric, yo. I'm telling you, this nigga, yo, fuck everybody. All I need is Eric. You know what I mean? He was on that Suge shit, like when Suge said, I only need Pop.
Right.
That's how John was. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down to it, like I said, Tory got locked up. If I'm not mistaken, around this time we were recording with J Funk. You know what I'm saying? So J Funk was coming in to give us a different sound. Not that it didn't meld right with me, but it was just a different sound. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh damn, we going to a different sound. We really haven't come up with our sound yet. You know what I'm saying? So if you could hear some of the songs from back then, you would have heard how Tory was formulating this album. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas that did hear it at that time would just sit there like, God damn, yo.
Double checking. Tory's the same person that kind of produced the first couple of albums.
That did all of that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like him. I like Tory.
You know what I'm saying? So,
like, when you did the remix the album with the Blacks and Eric Nell joint, I didn't really like that sound.
I'm gonna tell you how we got to that.
But yeah, go ahead. Stay on the storyline.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, J Funk came in, you know, we did a couple joints. We were trying to get the album together. At that time, Jinx had to go in the hospital. You know what I mean? Some shit happened, lung collapse, shit was just fucking crazy. So he wasn't gonna be able to come in and do a whole bunch of rapping. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's my brother. I don't give a fuck. Just come in. If you can give me 4 bars here, I'll carry the rest. You know what I'm saying? Forbidden. That nigga was like, where the fuck is our money at? You know what I'm saying? That nigga wasn't trying to hear shit. He was like,
wondering when the niggas was gonna come out.
Yeah, he was like, yo, where the fuck is the money? Yo, nigga, we used to have knockdown, drag out fights in there. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm looking at my big brothers fighting them all in the middle. Niggas, you know, when liquor get involved and we all niggas, it would used to just be fucking terrible. So it just got to a point where Mac was in the hospital. Forbidden was like, I'm not coming doing this shit. Fuck them niggas, this and that. I was like, yo, Forbidden, just chill. We had a radio interview. I'll never forget this shit. God damn it.
What radio station was you at?
92Q.
Oh, Lord. So everybody heard this joint.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. This is where it got crazy. Forbidden said that he wasn't coming back. He'll say that they put him out the group. John and Vic put him out the group. You know what I'm saying? Some people say he just left. Point is, in my mind, nigga, we family. You ain't gone nowhere. Mac is just chilling. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, he's just chilling. So when we get to the radio, they ask, it's just me and Blacks. They say, yo, where, you know, Jinx and Forbidden. So of course, with my media training, you know what I'm saying? Because I've studied all of these niggas all my life that tiptoe around shit. I'm like, nah, man, you know, they good. I was like, yo, I was like, Forbidden has something to do, man. You know, Jinx, he under the weather right now. I was like, but yeah, you know, it's still LMS. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. They ain't like that shit. Yeah, because they felt like
you weren't being true to what they were.
That's what
really
it is. They like, yo,
through.
This nigga, why you ain't telling they put me out the group, man? Oh, you on they shit, you know, fuck you and fuck. All right, man, that's
not what it was. You're trying to maintain a unified front. You were hoping that, hey, something is going to get hashed out.
Yeah,
and that moment was not
old.
the deal. Yeah, right.
You dealing with niggas, you know, 21.
We kids at the time,
18, 19,
mad
20,
emotional,
21.
mad testosterone, nigga.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying? Just realizing who the fuck they are for real. And matter of fact, I might not have been 20 at that time.
You getting a lot of pussy at that time, so you definitely feeling yourself. Yeah, man, buddy. Yeah.
When you get to a point where your parents are now LMS mother, LMS father. You know what I'm saying? That's all they. That shit is just crazy. You know what I mean? They go to work and they talking about that dumbass shit. Yeah. So at that point, I didn't see it. To me, we're still the same. We homeboys, nigga. We played basketball. You know what I'm saying? And went swimming together. What the fuck are we doing here arguing because I won't tell niggas that the group broke up? We didn't break up. You know what I'm saying? But in their minds, it was over. And that's when, Blacks and I decided, like, we gotta move forward. Like, there's nothing we can do at this point, And that's why you hear the sound change that was on there, because honestly, I wanted to go in a totally different direction. I didn't like all the beats, and it had a lot to do with the studio we were recording out of. But it just got to a point where I was like, we got to change some shit up. We got to do something different. Yeah. Okay,
so the producer that made those tracks for the Blacks and Eric Nell EP.
That was still Tori. Tori came home by then.
So how do you have that conversation? All right, Tori, all of this fly shit you was giving me before, can't use it. What are we doing now? Like, what is that? How do you inspire him to create this sound? Because it was more, I'm sorry, it sounded so different in a way of it sounded like some computer manufactured kind of.
Think, around that time, again, music had changed. Again, you got Bobby Digital. You got
that is true.
Pre-Neptunes.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're hearing a lot of shit because when you're in different studios, you're hearing other people work on shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're hearing that shit and you like, okay, this is where music's going. But also, you just young and experimenting with shit. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So like when I told niggas like, this is the way that I wanted to rap, wanted to do something, a little bit different. Like I wanted to go where Nelly was going, but Nelly wasn't out. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm like, nigga, this is where rap is going, and I gotta find a way to keep my sound but go here. You know what I'm saying? So they trying to do East Coast, Master P, and then I'm trying to sing and do some shit, and the shit just got all fucking confused. Because you gotta remember, P was coming out around that time. P
just blew up in that time period.
And didn't nobody want to use no samples.
So for clarification purposes, when you say I want to do a Nelly style, you're meaning a sing-songy lyricism thing.
Yeah, so when
you know what I'm saying, with like a bounce, like more like a bounce, right?
That's where that was coming from, because I was like, man, something has to change. Niggas will tell you this when they did what's her name? Brandy and Monica did The Boy Is Mine, right?
Right.
I went in the studio and did something to that cadence. Them niggas was like, nah, man, that shit ain't right. It's like, I'm telling you, that cadence right there, we gotta do something like that. And then later on, Mobb Deep and Nas came out with their shit. And that's why them niggas gave me the freedom. They like, this nigga Eric, man, just let him do whatever the fuck he want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they started to trust my ear for shit, you know what I mean? And trust my voice. Yeah, man.
So you continued on. So you and Blacks dropped the EP.
Right.
What was the reception to that? Especially now, since people had to wait so long. Because I'm thinking, all right, 9 months before things fell apart, then you take a redirection, so you another 6 months maybe before y'all were able to get that EP ready. So you looking at 9 plus 6? Or is it like years?
No, yeah, this is years, man. Because I'm looking at this time. It had to maybe be like a year, 2 years, something like that.
So when you actually drop it, the LMS boys ain't the LMS boys no more. Yeah. It's Blacks and Eric Nell.
Right.
What's the reception like?
It was different, but it's the fact that if you look, it's people like, wait a minute. Which one is Eric Nell? Whoa, that's Eric Nell, because I got nobody dreads at this point. You know what I'm saying? People that remember me from the video, like, this nigga got dreads now. This nigga got a goatee, because you start to mature. You know what I'm saying? And then again, we going to a different time, different sound. You know what I'm saying? Different looks, all types of shit. You know what I mean? Jerseys and shit like that.
Right.
So the biggest thing I'll say is that they didn't want to. I felt like we should have did a whole album. They didn't want to. They said, let's just drop a single, see what the reception is. And the problem we had was there was no direction. There was no direction at all, bro. Like, I mean, we went in, we recorded a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to, they wanted to do those two, but we recorded a lot of shit, a whole lot of shit.
And let me guess, after all this time, the label call stopped calling. they never decided on nothing. So like you kind of are back out independent on your own. And like you said, these guys don't have no direction. They don't know what they want to do.
Right.
So they drop the EP. It's not the reception they would hope for. So at that point, they just start drawing back, or did they put the foot on the gas to try to make something out of it?
I'm gonna tell you, like I said, the reception was different. But then, you know, of course, radio is not going to it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. It's definitely not that. It doesn't have that vibe that radio would cling
so it's
to.
Like, do we shoot a video? And I felt like that's what we should have done. But there's so much internal conflict. It's nothing they could do, because it was like, yo, we dealing with Black's gonna do what the fuck he want to do. This nigga Eric has lost his motherfucking mind. You know what I mean? At that time, yo, I was a lunatic. You know, so they looking at it like, yo, this nigga, when he come to the studio, he drunk as shit, he fussing, he cussing. But they had to make a decision. You know what I mean? If you pay attention, I don't know if you remember seeing that song was on Rap City when they used to do a like.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I don't even know. It was like an intro or something like that, or a transition. Yeah, and they would have the audio. They would have the audio,
and they would show the picture, right?
Right.
So they showed my picture, but played Black's verse. Now the problem was that was done basically to say, nigga, we don't need you.
Wow.
So I said, all right, that's cool. I felt it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas will say that it wasn't. It was done for that. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't mad. I'm like, yo, play Black's verse. But I'm like, yo, fuck you showing my picture for, man? You know what I'm saying? And then niggas wasn't calling me and shit. Tory was still my man. You know what I'm saying? I still talk to Tory. But of course, John and Vic were running things. And they had every right to feel the way that they were feeling. Yo, I was becoming an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Just where I'm young. You not paying me to do none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll come, I'm gonna rhyme. Can't nobody out rhyme me. That's how I was thinking in my mind. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do my parts, I'm gonna get drunk, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if I ain't getting paid for it, you know what I'm saying, I really don't have to give a fuck about this. And that's how I was feeling at the time. And again, you talking to a nigga that's, like I'm saying, just not even 21 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the important part, I think the critical thing you said is, if I'm not getting paid for this, you can't force me to care about it.
Right.
Because there was the point of being passionate. I think I think everybody gets to that point. After I've sacrificed, I've given up so much. I've given up so much of my years and my time.
Right.
And when you're young, you don't think that life is long.
Right.
You think that life is short.
And I wanted to enjoy. I wanted to go out and enjoy this name that I had. Let me just go out here and.
Because you had to discipline yourself for so many years. You wasn't out. You wasn't showing face because you were beginning to be popular. So you were like, yo, because back in the day, you had to be mysterious. You couldn't be everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like when you showed up, it had to be a moment.
Yeah.
Oh shit, LMS, nigga. Da-da-da-da. So eventually you take your drunk ass home and you say, yo, I'm out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Me and this Hennessy bottle is gone. So,
I was done. I was done.
I'm taking this and I'm out. Anybody going with me? Engineer, you going? You going? Well, fuck you too then, nigga. I'm out. So what does Eric Nell do from that point?
Just chill, man. I just went. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Because that was never the hard part.
Where does Eric Nell work? Where you gonna be at Sam Goodies?
Nah, it was always some low key shit. You know what I'm saying?
You out there in debt collection, this nigga.
Yeah, it was like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and I never forget when the album came out, when the first single came out, before anybody had heard it. I was at the $2 movies. Even when the video came out, I think I was at the $2 movies.
What the hell?
You got, again, that's why none of that shit made any difference to me. You know what I'm saying? It's people that would come up, yo, let me get your autograph. I'm like, all right, yo, you want popcorn? You good? All right. It didn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? We just in there having fun. That's why niggas would tell you again, I just been the same nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, I'm just going to go get a job.
So let me run two back. So eventually they dropped the Blacks and Eric Nell album?
No, just I was talking about when the first LMS joint came out.
LMS dropped an album?
No, just a single.
Oh, I was about to say, nigga, what? Where the fuck is my copy? All right, but anyway. All right, so you leave, you start moving on a journey of a regular life. What happens to all of this music?
Oh, well, no, it didn't work out that way. We did we decided, go our separate ways. They recording. Me and Tory like, nigga, what are you doing? Yo, just come man, fuck that. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing nothing. I'm chilling. I agree
with you. I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I was still, I was still recording and stuff like that. I get a phone call. Tory was like, yo, I need you on this song, man. just come on, do this song. I said, all right, man, fuck it. Go down there. We go to Cloud 9. White guy named Mark was down there. So I go in, he put this beat on, and John and Vicky, I ain't seen him in a minute. Shit. You know, so I'm walking, I'm like, hey, what's up, fella? They like, hey, what's up, man? Vic pissed. He's pissed because he knows in his heart, like, this nigga about to do something. Like, I don't know what this nigga Eric about to do. So I walk in and nobody knew nothing. Like, I heard the beat and shit. I had this shit memorized. I knew what the fuck I was gonna do. So I went in. John is just looking at me through the glass. And as soon as I started, the rhyme was something like, walked in the house 12 a.m. on the dizot, whole spot his eye, drama don't stop. Yeah, my baby mother up with my newborn is crying, temper still rising. She saying that I'm lying. Tell me that my breath smell like Bacardi Lyman. Tell me that she wouldn't be round without me rhyming. What? Are you serious or speaking in vain? Are you in love with just me or are you needing the fame? Soon as I said that, I saw that nigga John take his water bottle. Boom! My nigga, I could see him in the background, right? So I'm looking like, damn, this nigga going off. So I went in here, I did the song, walked out. I went outside, smoked a cigarette. John came out, he said, yo, come here, yo, give me a hug, yo. Yo, I missed you, yo, give me a hug. So I'm just laughing. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? What's wrong with y'all niggas? So they were talking about getting the shit back together and this and that. I said, look, man, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just gonna do me. Nigga Tory says, yo, what you doing tomorrow, yo? I was like, man, all right, listen, I got this and I got that and I need you to come do and we gonna do this. So we decide that we're gonna record. Keep in mind, I don't have no ties to these niggas. It's just me and Tory. Mm-hmm. We gonna record the Eric Nell project because he wanted that to let some other people hear it, right? So LMS is still, even though we gonna do the Eric Nell project, LMS is still bubbling a little bit. Marcus don't want shit to do with it. He fuck LMS. You my cousin, I love you, but fuck LMS. I'm gonna bring my homeboy in. Because by this time, Jinx had moved to Philly. He wanted to bring his homeboy.
Brings in a replacement hitter. Like,
yeah, but this is that. But it was, you know, we all knew him. You know what I'm saying? Right. He was one that nigga we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? But Blacks was like, oh, let's let's do a couple joints, whatever. Because people from that song, they were getting a lot of interest. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was like, well, you gonna do the group again, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. Tory like, nigga, I don't think we should do the group, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, they tried to do as much as they could. It wasn't gonna work. Tory was building this Eric Nell solo album. Guy named Omar comes in and he was trying to work with LMS at the time, but secretly he was like, yo, this nigga Eric is a goddamn problem. You know what I mean? He was trying to work with LMS, shit wasn't working. So he came to me, he was like, yo, what's the deal with y'all? I was like, nothing, man. He was like, I want you to meet somebody. He wanted me to meet his sister. You know what I'm saying? His sister, she was a big time, she was I want to say an entertainment lawyer, but for some reason she dabbled in finance or something like that. Mm-hmm. So she basically funded the album. It was called Nell 2K The Problem. I never forget this shit. It was about to be 2000. You feel me? So, you know, everybody was going off the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. So they were like, yo, we gonna do the Eric Nell album. And I had a lot of people on it. You know what I'm saying? I told, you know, Forbidden he was gonna be on. Basically, I was gonna have LMS on the motherfucker. Right. We recorded it. Went to New York. We celebrated. Had a good fucking time. My man Omar's sister sat me down. I never forget, man. It's the first time I ever saw an elevator in the house. And she sat me down and she said,
you can't just breeze by that, man.
Elevator in
the crib.
When you see this shit, she lived in Jersey. Yeah. So when we got there, then we drove to New York. And I'm like, yo, goddamn, she got a fucking elevator in the house. Shit fucked me up.
What kind of finance is she doing? That sound like some like some street business right there.
Well, man, listen. So she was doing like I said, she's an entertainment lawyer, but of course, there was a lot of she's a lawyer, shit. So she asked me, what do you think? She's like, I listened to the album, I love it. We're willing to shop it. She's like, we're willing to shop it. What would you give me a shot starting a label? I was like, yo, here we go, man. We got this same shit going again. You feel me? So I was like, all right, we can do that because I believed in her. Yo, this was a time, nigga, when I was like I said,
you can start the label as long as there's a check involved with this motherfucker. Like, I ain't with no more freebie link up moves. Like,
I looked at it like, being that she was the one that
financed it.
Yeah, she financed it. When we went to New York, man, this was like not no bullshit. It's like we're in the W. You know what I'm saying? This is when Justin's was hot, and we're in Justin's. You know what I'm saying?
Justice
table,
wasn't
get what
cheap.
you want. Yeah, and she like, yo, get what you want. The limo outside, we riding around. We in every club. We in VIP. She like, Eric, how many bottles you need? And I'm like, yo, this is just some different shit. Again, I think I might have just turned 21 at this time. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
How old was she?
She had to be, she had probably had to be like 29. Maybe 29, 28.
Should have made her your baby moms, yo.
Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Okay, well, continue the story.
So,
I guess
like
I'm
I said,
find out why.
this was my man's sister. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out to my man Omar.
Shout out to
Basically, what happened? I said, all right, let's go for it. She was like, she had a financier. He was in Miami. He said, yo, just come down for the weekend, shoot the video. He had the Ferrari, all types of shit. So I was like, cool, we planning this trip.
Y'all paying attention?
I get a goddamn phone call.
An investor in Miami has a Ferrari and wants to shoot the video.
I get it. And like I said, that's why I'm naming
financing.
people. So that if anybody say like, oh, nigga lying, he be like, yo, ass Omar. I be like, man, I don't want to talk about that. Like, he ain't lying. So basically what happened, there was a situation where, and allegedly, because I say this because I feel like, you know, she's 100% innocent of this shit. Sometimes you get tied up in some shit you don't know nothing about.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? But there was supposedly some money laundering that was going on, and this is another fucking album down the drain. You know what I'm saying? So at that point,
you didn't keep any copies of the masters, nigga?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, then fucking put that shit out. Fuck them niggas, man. Let's get this shit.
You got to keep in mind, this was at a time when, you know, she financed it, but this her brother. He keeps this shit. You know? And I'm not tripping over it. I'm like, it is what it is. But what do we do with all this material without a way of funnel it out? Ain't no, you know, this is before SoundCloud.
Yeah,
you know,
this is before DistroKid and all of that.
You can't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? Now, niggas ain't even burning CDs at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get to a point where you say, yo, this shit ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is just not for me. I mean, and it's been a lot of shit. Even me moving to Philly, me and Jinx working on the album, you know what I'm saying? Up there, when he changed his name, because we looked at like, we need a fresh start. That's where, you know, the Reese Gamble, the Ugly Boy Reese came from, you know? So at that point, from me doing music up there, some shit just falling through the wayside, losing hard drives, crashing, things of that nature. It just got to a point where I was like, yo, I need a break. You know what I'm saying? And that break came with starting to, not only, like I said, it was still working, but starting to write songs, you know, like R&B songs, shit like that, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's documented, you know what I mean? We did, me and my buddy Darrell, we did Young Steph's first single. Okay. We did some shit for Jarvis, for We the Best. We actually did it for We the Best and for Khaled. Okay. And sold at the Universal, but
congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Some industry checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, them shit's still coming. That BMI check, nigga, I don't give a fuck if that shit is $180. It just make you feel like, God damn, like
some industry money,
like,
baby.
I can't believe I'm getting checks for doing nothing. You know, absolutely nothing. We did My Territory for Mario. It was supposed to actually be his first single on the DNA album, but he ended up going with a Nicki Minaj single, and they had leaked that, and it didn't get the response I don't think they wanted.
That's
you know
a fact.
But
Mario has been trying to climb out of that hole for quite some time.
Yeah, man, shit. Well, I got another hit if he needed, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Mario.
Let's go. I'm saying? But yeah, and it just started with that, and it's crazy because it was trying to remember the name of this group. I think it was like Prophet Jones, if I'm not mistaken. It was a guy named Goldie, Stacey Ladisaw's brother. And me and my cousin Speak Easy actually wrote a song for them. You know what I'm saying? So Speak Easy went to rap on the song. You know, I wrote the verse because he had produced it. So Goldie hears it, and then he hears a song that I did, and he was like, hold up, why don't you rap on this? I'm going to sign you. And since this is Prophet Jones' new single, because they were coming back out, he's like, this is going to be our first single. You going to be on it, and I'm going to launch you off of that. That shit fell apart so bad, yo, and that's when it just got to a point like, yo, sooner or later I'm gonna have to take. Yeah, it's just like an ongoing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a bunch of brick walls. You know what I'm saying?
I would have given up. I ain't gonna lie. I'd have been like, damn, nigga, you've been so close to glory so many times.
Man, I'm talking about drunken phone calls to Dame Dash telling him he don't need nobody with me and Beans. This is when the breakup happened with the. Yo, it's like it's a bunch of dumb shit, man. But I'm just giving you the shit that matters. You know what I mean? It's some behind the scenes
I need
talk.
to click. So go ahead and tell me the drunk. How did the fucking drunken phone call with Dame Dash come about? Please.
I was drunk at Asiamani's store in DC. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Asiamani was working with I don't even know if he wanted the story out. That's my nigga though. He'll cuss me out if he don't want it out. You know what I mean? So he was working with Dame Dash in Rockaware. You know what I mean? But they were trying to do something else like branch off, and he was gonna bring Asiamani out. But whatever was happening, like my man Marlon never seen me like this. Like I met him through my homeboy Larry. He used to always see me like, that's chill, Eric. He quite never seen me drunk. And I was just at a point where the music that I was making was so good, it was no way to get it out. And we were sitting there, and I knew he had to connect. I said, yo, fuck this, man. I said, yo, this nigga don't need nobody but me and Beans. Because I knew he had the Dame Dash music group. I said, yo, call this nigga, man. My man Larry looking like, like, yo, call that nigga. Now, all I remember him is him on the phone. I'm just yelling in the back. He don't need nobody. Just me. He just need me and Beans. Larry, like, Jesus Christ, man. But, of course, that drunken rant, I mean, it wasn't nothing personal, but that didn't go nowhere, of course.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And Dame Dash Music Group, folded, but...
Thank God you didn't get a part of that.
But I don't know, man. Like, even to this day, man, like, I really like Dame. You know what I'm saying? Omar had a meeting with Dame, but it was pretty much in the club. He ran up on, like, listen, man, I got this artist, man. I think he the next Jay. He was like, bring it on. That's what everybody say. He was like, man, this is going bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But
niggas don't need shit. You should never start those conversations doing that. Yo, this person is the next Eric Nell. Like, no. Man. Like I need something different.
Yeah. But it's a lot of them, man. A whole lot of them. Those stories. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a whole lot of those stories. Like I said,
after this last kerfluffle, you know what I'm saying? So what do you do after that? Do you stay and just say, I'm just going to stay a writer? Because I'm saying you getting checks. Right. So why stop just because you didn't get a record deal for yourself? I mean, you just be a writer and.
Well, see, the thing that hurts with that is you have, I hate the word gatekeepers, man, but that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have a bunch of middlemen where these individuals will, let's say you're the producer and you want me to write these songs, but you're going through him and he's telling me that this ain't right. And I'm like, yo, just let me get this song to him. Like, stop listening to it and giving it back to me. Let me get this to the producer. That's all I need. He like, nah, man, this ain't it. So you have the guy that's getting the beats from the producer. He's giving it to the writers. And I felt like I wasn't comfortable not having that direct line, you know what I mean, to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's some people I have direct lines to that, I love writing with them. Like I said, Speak Easy, the Featherstones, I love working with them. You know what I mean? But whenever I can't get directly to the producer or to the A&R.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you get a call, you want to submit something, like we submitted something for Bobby Shmurda, and this is something that I fell victim to. I started giving them their sound. When, nigga, if I wanted my sound, nigga, I'd have wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Right. They just wanted like some hooks for him, something like that. You know what I'm saying? This was before, Shmurda, came out. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that I had to remember that not only am I writing for somebody, but I have to put my spin on it. You know what I'm saying? And it can fuck with your confidence sometimes, man. When you're spending time in the studio writing these songs and you send them out and they tell you, we love everything about the song, but change everything. You know what I'm saying? That's shit that happens. And then by the time you change it, it sounds horrible, but you did the changes they want. Then they get it back and they don't like it. And they ain't gonna like, yo, this shit is bad, man. Like, there's no way they should change this shit. You know what I'm saying? But it happens.
Right.
And then they get the song and they don't like it. And, it's just a ongoing cycle. And that shit can beat you down, man. For like every placement you get, it's 100 that you didn't get. You know what I'm saying? And then things will happen. Like I did a song called Fade. I'll never forget I wrote it. Nobody liked that shit. People close to me like, yo, this shit hard. But the people that mattered didn't like the shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. If I'm not mistaken, Tricky Stewart's brother heard it and gave it to Tricky. Of course, Tricky works with Dream.
Right.
He said, yo, Tricky, you gotta hear this shit. Tricky heard it. He was like, yo, I love this shit. He wanted to get it to Dream.
Right.
Who wrote it? So now you got gatekeepers that say, I mean, yeah, it's all right, but they won't get any money if they say, yeah, nigga E Now wrote it. Nigga Ugly Boy Reese wrote it. They don't get any money off that. That's cool, but listen to what my man did. My man hit. You see what I'm saying? So then it gets to a point where at this point Dream don't give a fuck about that song. He like, yo, all right, I don't need it. I'll rewrite the shit. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's situations like that, man. It can just be frustrating. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to try to break your neck? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people out here, man, kissing ass, eating dick, trying to get close to some artist, you know what I mean? Just to control and funnel everything that goes to that artist. So it's like, do I want to fight through all this, or do I want to get my own artist or get my own name so they come to me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where it is now, where I'm just at a point where I'm starting to enjoy everything again. You know what I'm saying? I got more into, to be honest with you, just like custom hoodies, custom jackets, shoes, stuff like that. Like you said, an artist is going to be an artist. As long as I can create, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm comfortable and I can create, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You have a crazy roller coaster story, bro.
But it's not over. And that's what's so...
You still young. You still look 25, though. You out this bitch looking...
appreciate that,
You still looking... You look 25 like a motherfucker. Like, you can lie your ass off.
If I got a wig and I just pull this motherfucker back.
No. You keep coloring that motherfucker like you doing. You all right. You good. Yeah. They put a little thing in there.
Just for men. And I'm fucked up, man. Whatever that shit is, they stop making that dye. I'm fucked, bro.
You ain't looking like I do, nigga. I look like somebody's grandfather out this bitch. Like, it is what it
man,
is.
Shit, yo, go Walmart. They got it in there.
Nah,
that jet black, nigga.
I'm cool. I only put lotion on because we doing a camera interview. And every time I see myself on camera, like, damn, you ashy as a bitch. Like, I got it. You know what I mean? Outside of that, showers and toothpaste, nigga. That's it. That's all it is. Yeah, dog. I do construction for a living, nigga. This ain't. I don't get paid for this shit.
Right.
So, like, you know, I get it, but yo, I think that your journey is so incredible. I think the thing that you have the same drive that I have. We just in two different fields. I stopped being a rapper because I really honestly never wanted to be one. I actually love being a producer when I was a producer.
Right.
But then when both of those things seem to be unlikely to happen because you at least had some connections, I had zero. So I was at the most I did was at the flea market, and I was building a fan base there. But when you by yourself, I had a brother living across the country. I had cousins that had no experience. So I'm in the mall, I'm in the flea market by myself selling CDs, and I just didn't believe. I was like, to me, it looked like the dead end. Yeah. Instead of me looking at it as the beginning. But once again, we were both living in a time period before social media. Before I'm hearing the story of Master P selling CDs out of the trunk. Before, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing these people's stories. The only thing I'm thinking is, yo, I had a great run and then it ended here. So like, let me stop and find something else to do. And I was like, I love music in the industry too much to leave it alone. So it's just like I found another way. All right, I do radio. Right. And then now I get to meet people that I'm fans of. All right, cool. Now I get to tell stories, or I get to hear stories and get people involved in it. I get to connect the dots now. So I'm gonna tell
you said something earlier when you were talking about Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you were saying how, you know, the 444, he changed his style up. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it was a word you used. I'm trying to remember the word that you used.
God. There's a point where, yeah, I mean,
when you said he was a legacy act.
Right.
And that's something that's very important. It's never used in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So
because we had never found, and there's a reason why. Right. It's because first of all, hip hop was still young. So when the first generation actually crossed over, there was never a group to get old in hip hop. So we fumbled that. We fucked up on Big Daddy Kane. We fucked up on Rakim. We fucked up on KRS-One. And that's number one part. Number two, those guys never learned the game to keep money. So they weren't able to sustain themselves to sustain their legacy. So they are literally performing to make a living. Right. Whereas Jay-Z he don't have to ever rap again. Nas never has to rap again. These guys have so much money that they never have to rap again. And because they're not worried about money, drugs, anything else, they can look back with a clear mind and look back at this and they can look at the future and the past and say, look, this is who I am. I can make what I want, and I don't have to worry about if it sells. As long as Jay-Z gives the perception that it sells, it doesn't matter if it actually sells. The thing is, this is a piece of art. If you notice, everything about Jay-Z since Blueprint 3 has been, look at this piece of art I created.
Yeah.
Look at this. It doesn't matter, but stop worrying about sales. Look at what I meant. What is the definition behind why I'm doing this? Well, look at this artwork. Look at this album cover. Everything has a greater meaning to it. So we don't have to worry about, see, Jay-Z has transcended trying to make the hit for the moment. He is creating the art piece that helps us define our existence.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, and when you said the legacy act, I was thinking about, you know how people get residencies, you know, like in Vegas and shit like that.
Correct. Which he should be doing. But
I agree. When I started to look at where, like you said, it gets to a point you want to give up, and I was thinking about, you know, writing songs, people that I've written for, and I'm like, damn, I've been given a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, I've never actually decided that I was going to take my destiny into my own hands. You know, just take it, just me and God, and that's it, and we're going to go this route. And when I was talking about like doing, you know, like the custom jackets and stuff like that, I fell back a little bit from the music, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if you know about like Slutty Vegan. Okay, so Slutty Vegan, I get a phone call from Stacey Lee. You know what I mean? That's Tracy Lee's sister.
Okay.
So I was talking to Stacey. I did a jacket for her, you know, for like the AKAs and everything. Then the Slutty Vegan thing comes. And I'm looking at all of these people, you know, that I'm starting to be connected to that are very successful. And it's not even like a monetary thing. It's just life success. You know what I mean? Like just genuinely good people. And it's just coming from me making genuine connections. D-Lay, comedian, you know, he out in LA.
Yes, sir.
He hits me up. I was like, yo, listen, man, I want to do this for you, whatever. Yo, he's like, yo, cool. Yo, send the jacket out. Went ahead and did that. Then I start to come back to the music real slow. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Tracy, this nigga over in Dubai. You know what I mean? And that's when I started to look at it and say, yo, it only takes that spotlight to be on you. You know what I'm saying? And you can keep bringing it back. Like, whoa. Just remember me, the spotlight was on. I need that spotlight back real quick so I can generate this income and get this out there. And I'm watching how these people are just so smart, you know, business wise. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think I'm at now. You know what I mean?
You gave, to be honest with you, and once again, it's not your fault. You didn't have information.
Right.
The problem you had is that you kept putting your life in other people's hands.
Of course.
Instead of taking it going, well, I may not be able to legally put out an album this way, but I'll put out a mixtape.
Right.
Or, hey, let me start linking with Tim Trees and let's work with this and let's work with that, because the more places that Eric Nell name is attached to, the bigger my legend becomes, the bigger my brand becomes. And
that's a rough thing. What you said, man, you don't know how that hurt to have to give that up. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it and say, I gotta lose this name. You know what I'm saying? Because it was me admitting that shit was over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's weird when, again, you start to look at legacy acts and I get online and I see a nigga in Japan with a LMS record. That shit blew my mind. Yo, to look on eBay and I'm like, this nigga's in Japan with why does he even have this record?
Because it was fucking popular.
Dude, these niggas that I look in comments and niggas be like, yo, I wonder what happened to them. And I'll hit the nigga. Yo, so whatever.
I'm still alive, nigga. I ain't dead.
And then they hit me on Instagram like, nigga, I didn't know this. And this shit is amazing to me, man.
We used to sit around. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, we used to sit around and listen to this shit. Yo, we used to get the instrumental and do our own versions. Like, bro, like y'all were legendary at the time, man. Like, yo, honestly, I didn't even. Crazy. You were the first Baltimore celebrities to me, because these niggas on MTV, nigga.
I had a poster. I remember niggas had a poster. That shit fucked me up, man.
You know what I mean? The fact that I had the CD, niggas used to be like, yo, let me burn that shit, or let me get a copy. Like, to this day, when people see it, I'll break that shit out. It's like I got gold. The original LMS. And the only dumb thing I did, the original cover, is I cut the original cover out so I could put it in the case. And that was some dumb young shit I should have never did. I should have kept the original. I mean. I should have bought 2 copies for real and kept one in the shrink rack, but that's another thing for another day.
Man.
So you actually handed me a CD when you came in the door. Is this the creation of that mindset of, all right, well, I need to take my life into my own hands?
Yeah, what happened, it was like for years, you know, just going back and forth saying that I was gonna put out an album. I never forget, you know, niggas was like, yo, you gotta do it. Like, yo, just put the shit out. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So started taking it went through so many different versions, you know what I mean? It wasn't even called what it was called. It wasn't even under that name. Then it got to a point with me doing, you know, the clothing line, the Ugly Boys and Girls, which basically comes from the world kind of telling niggas, you know, what beauty is and how you should act and this and that. So it's like when you think outside the box, you be yourself, makes you ugly because it's totally it's something that the world doesn't want you to be. You know what I'm saying? So the Ugly Boys and Girls came from that. And just, you know, the Ugly Boy Reese, I just took that moniker on from me doing the art. So when I went and I did the album, I was like, look, this is the songs we got. This is it. I'm closing it down. I decided to call it Life Made Simple. You know what I mean? LMS. And I was like, yo, I can't do this without Forbidden. You know what I mean? Because actually, Jinx, J-Mac, he produced the majority of the album. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get Blacks, dumbass. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, man.
What's going on,
yeah,
Blacks?
God damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? But no, we gonna put something together. We were talking about that recently, but you know, I sent Forbidden a track, and I was like, look, man, I gotta get you on it. Cause this was around the time, like, when I finished the album up and everything, this was, I wanna say 2018, like 2018, 19, where I was like, yo, okay, this is it. It's coming out. I'm definitely going to put it out. Because in 15, my dad died. Then 16, my mom died, right? That's when, you know, me and Forbidden, I mean, of course, he family, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't really see each other like that. We ain't really talk like that. Love him to death. But I hit that nigga like, look, man, fuck this. You know what I mean? We ain't been in the booth in forever, man. I'm sending this track over, jump on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because I just felt like anybody that knows me that gets that album, they would appreciate hearing me and him together again. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that opened up the door for us to do some other shit. Not that we, you know, had any ill feelings towards each other. It's just that
life is life.
Old. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is living. Life. Yeah, niggas is grown, got families and bills and all types of shit, you know. So, yeah, but we're going to get back in there.
So it's on streaming? Can people stream it?
Because of the samples. When you hear it, you're gonna see what happened, man. It was I was working with Mac. We were trying to make it a title exclusive.
Right.
Man, we had a Queen sample in there. This was before Bohemian Rhapsody dropped. They were like, "Don't worry about it. They'll find a way to get around." Nigga, when that song dropped, when that movie dropped, we just sat back like, we fucked, man. And I wouldn't take none of the samples out of it. It's all types coming to America samples in there. I said, bro, I'm not taking none of it out. So let's just go ahead. We'll do like hand to hand, and we got around the digital. A little bit, you feel me? Like, people that hit
you
us
can
up,
still put it out like a mixtape, but you want to sell it though. I understand.
Well, no, that like I said, that now, even if I put it out as a mixtape, they're gonna snatch it because of these samples. Like, they'll black those out. You know what I'm saying?
If you put it on SoundCloud, but if you put it on what is it called? If you put it on Dat Piff, you all good.
Dat Piff fucked me over, man.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. I think is it Trapzilla or something like that?
They got a Trapzilla, but Dat Piff is just Dat Piff, and then the rest of them is
no, because I was gonna say, like, that Piff, man, they caught me with some samples. They took it out.
Wow.
They took some joints out, but I ain't even try to.
I guess they got hit hard with the legal shit. Damn, that's crazy.
So that was the one that dropped last year, you know, to
Spinrilla. You talking about Spinrilla?
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right.
Yes, you know, I'm an old nigga, man.
Don't feel bad.
All types of shit. But, you know, I put that out just to see how to test the waters a little bit. You know, niggas told me stop running my mouth and talking about what we did
in the past.
Because of IRS. No, I'm talking about, like, as far as you saying, like, yeah, we moved this many at this.
Oh,
niggas like, man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I ain't trying. That's why I ain't asked the question. I'm like, no, that's not the purpose.
But it made me happy, man. Like, I was really happy when I saw how much support was out there. You know, so Mac and I, WrestleMania Sunday, April 5th. This year we're dropping Don't Be Them. He's gonna produce the whole joint.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, we're gonna drop.
Are you gonna do it so we can stream it? Can you make
yes, sir.
Can you make some legal music?
Yo, I made sure, man. We made sure no samples.
Let me tell you, you gave us the CDs. I know my little cousin was just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
I know, man.
There's no CD player. Like, I don't even have a CD player in my truck, nigga. I can't do this. Everything is streaming. So, like, what I'll do is I'll rip it and put it on my phone, and that'll be the. I won't sell it or give it out, but, you know, we'll do
what you want, man. I told you, like, we're good, man. man, we're good. Like the next joint, it's going. Matter of fact, as soon as it's done, man, I'm gonna shoot that over to you so you can check it out.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
Bro, like your story, and I love the fact that you still optimistic. Yo, you still strong. Like you clean, my nigga. You out here, you living good,
man. Appreciate it.
I seen some people take it rough. Woo, they take it real rough. Like,
nigga, if you had caught me back in 2015, nigga, I was I'm like 13, 14, 15. That's when I was going through that midlife crisis. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh shit, we all go through that shit. What do you mean? Oh, because we old? Fuck you, nigga. Elaborate. Going through a midlife crisis. That means you get the halfway point of your life. You look back on your life and you realize. Oh yeah, what did happen in a midlife crisis? Come on, yeah, spit it out.
It got to a point where, like I said, it's so much shit, man. When I moved to Philly, like I said, I was staying with Mac, me and my man Bub. You know what I mean? Bub the producer. Mm-hmm. This nigga he did think it's a game for Beanie. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know this nigga at all. This nigga became like my brother. You know what I'm saying? So when you got us three niggas on there making the music that we were making, right? I get into some shit where I'm out there, I'm like, yo, it ain't moving fast enough. You know, my man Dave Gaines, I'm working with him. He working with Jazzy Jeff. It was so much talent going on at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so we were making such incredible music, but again, shit wasn't moving fast enough. And this was before I started writing the R&B. So I came back to Baltimore. Going through, you know, just still making music, still working. My mom got sick. She got dementia. So the nigga Bub, this nigga gets called to LA. He's out there working, having a good time. This is before I ain't know who the fuck Kevin Hart was. He out there with Kevin. He's out there, a couple people. He calls me one night. I hear, yo, don't say, I was like, what, nigga? I said, nigga, what? Yo, don't say no, yo, don't put you on mute. Yo, the phone on speaker. Drops the phone. So I'm hearing these beats like, and I'm hearing, I'm like, nah, fuck no. Then I hear in the background, so phone cut off. Like, what the fuck is going on? He called me back the next day, said, nigga, I was in the studio with Dre. They working on Detox.
Wow.
He in the studio with Dre working on Detox. Busted. It's gonna make sense about the midlife crisis and shit. So they working on that shit. He was like, yo, Buster was in there. This is his favorite producer, only person he ever wanted to meet. Yo, a week later, he get a phone call, mother got cancer, terminally ill. He gotta come home. You know what I'm saying? So we're going through this shit, man. Like, trying to do music, trying to hold on to this dream. Both of us come from single homes. This is my brother. You know what I'm saying? So, and all of my friends, like I said, the majority of people that you'll ever see me around, these niggas I known since I was 9 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And any nigga that I've met through this journey with music, if they still talk like Duke, you know what I'm saying? It's my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching him go through with his moms. They're watching me go through it with my mother, but they're losing a mother too. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, 2010, she got diagnosed with dementia. By 2012, she didn't know who the fuck I was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do music. I'm trying to hold on to a lot of shit. Nigga, lost it. I mean, fucking lost it. It's days. Now we moving in the Lil Wayne era. Future era. We moving in
music is
completely syrup era.
It's completely changing.
Yeah, and so am I. You know what I mean? And it's niggas that'll be like my cousin B More Ben. He was like, yo, E, you're rapping at a level that's incredible, but I didn't give a fuck about rap. All I cared about is my mother dying. I gotta get as high as possible. You know what I mean? We popping perks, we sipping syrup. You know what I mean? And not that that's anything to glorify, but this shit is real life. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it like I know niggas that are fucked up over that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of person, I'm like, all right, yo, we still partying. I'm doing this shit to numb the pain. But then she dies. You know what I'm saying? Well, matter of fact, my dad died. And that's when I was like, yo, this shit ain't gonna numb no pain. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm making music. These niggas saying I'm making the best music of my life. At the same time, I'm still writing these songs for people. But all this money I'm making, I'm spending on this shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't gonna bring my father back.
Right.
A nigga that I ain't seen since I was 18, and a week before he died, I had a conversation with my uncle. I said, well, one of my uncles, I said, yo, I think my dad did. He was like, nah, yo, he went to church with his ex-wife. He's like, nah, man, she'd have told you. Matter of fact, Sunday, go up to the church and holler at him. I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, no, you should, man. I was like, all right, cool. I ain't go. He died that Wednesday.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when I was like, yo, this shit gotta change. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it. Done with these pills. I ain't drink. I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking with nothing. You know what I mean? But that right there, that midlife crisis took me to a point because I started to look at life like all of that shit that was behind me was like the best it was ever gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at it and you say, yo, I ain't never gonna have that gold legend again. But you forget it's other cars, but they don't mean what that gold legend meant. When you're growing up and you say, like it's like a blue mongoose. Yeah. You want that motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then you get old enough to afford it. You buy the I get a mongoose. Now I don't want this shit.
Reference point. Blue mongoose is a bike.
Man, that fucking BMX. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what that is.
You know what I mean? So it gets to that point. And I even said, I was like, I'm glad he said something, man, because that was something I definitely wanted to touch on because a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't talk about when you start to look at yourself, and younger people will get to this point. You realize, like with the Kobe shit, that you're mortal. You know what I'm saying? When you start to lose people, you like, yo, what the fuck? It's one thing to lose your friends. Nigga get shot. All right, like, damn, yo, my nigga got shot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends died in freak accidents, but still, it was some freak accidents. When you start to realize, like, the two people that created me are gone. This shit is insane.
They died of old age. I mean, dying passing of old age, or just, you know what I mean? That's different than being shot or somebody being snatched. You said it's being snatched from.
And my mom, we looking at 6 years, a woman that basically didn't know who I was, didn't know who she was. You know what I'm saying? It shit looked like some Get Out shit. Because it's days that, especially towards the end, I would see glimpses of who she was and could see the fear in her eyes that for a second she remembered, and she's like, I'm fucked up. And then she back out. You know what I'm saying? She recognized that this shit is about to be over. Right. Like, and that shit is wild, man. Matter of fact, I went to see her because she was staying with my uncle. I decided, I was like, listen, I went down there all the time, but the last time I went was Halloween. 2016, I went and I whispered in her ear something. Walked in the house, gave my uncle 5, walked upstairs, whispered in her ear, walked downstairs, shook his hand. He's like, you gone? I was like, yeah. She died 3 days later. And I told her, I went there to tell her that I would be all right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm going to be good. And I could tell she let go. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that a lot of people are going to have to deal with when you realize that whoever the fuck you think you are, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you a street nigga, care if you a music nigga, all that. Yo, every day we live, we getting one day closer to death.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me to the point, like you said, taking this shit into your own hands and saying, like, okay, I'm going to do this music, I'm going to make this shit, but what the fuck else am I going to do besides that? You know what I'm saying? Life is to be enjoyed, but who am I going to influence? Who am I going to help? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I'm at now, man, where I just want to enjoy the journey, man. A lot of it before, I was rushing to get somewhere in order to be somebody or be somebody people wanted me to be. You know what I'm saying? I needed to know this nigga and we in the industry and I know this nigga and that nigga, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that.
I hate when people come and name drop. That shit is annoying as fuck. I hate that shit. Like, yo, nigga, what are you doing? Don't tell me about who do you know. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And I feel like some people have enough talent to where it transcends the momentary. I created a record, I'm young, and it's dope music. Some people can just create and it's just fire. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you one of them niggas, man. Like you should just create, shoot your own music videos. You know what I mean? Like the person that you wanted to be when you was a kid, you can be that now. Like there's resources there, there's inexpensive cameras, you can build the world that you want to musically now and not have to worry about anything. For real, it's all you. Only thing I recommend, and I tell everybody this now, is like, yo, there's so many ways to monetize. Just make sure that you choose to create so you can monetize. Like you said, when you make the records now, be conscious of, all right, I need to be able to get this on DistroKid, get them samples out of there. Stop worrying about that. When you shoot your videos, brand your shit. Make sure you got your own clothing line. Put that in there. Make that other part of what you're doing. Connect everything you do together and make that shit work for you. You know what I mean? So that way it don't never matter whether you did 1 million views, nigga. Like, yo, fuck that. You know, I did it. This is my art. You know what I mean? I feel like Jay-Z was teaching lessons, but we keep looking at him as such a god because of the fact that he's got so much success. But there was a point where he erased the perception of stop looking at whether or not I got 1 million connections. Just look at I just created something. And it's all about how serious you take it. If you take the shit serious, other people got to take it serious.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you talk serious, like, yo, this album, I did this. And I tell people that all the time when I sit down to them. I'm like, yo, people are only going to take your shit as serious as you take it.
You know, I told somebody recently, they asked me, like, what keeps me so positive and so driven? I said, yo, Richard Pryor, I knew he was Richard Pryor before y'all did. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, niggas will look at it like, well, he became Richard Pryor. Nah, that nigga was always Richard Pryor. He knew it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I had that Richard Pryor moment. You feel me?
You had, I think your problem is that you stopped. You never got to the point. It took you a long time to get to the point that you're not just Eric Nell. You're not just another nigga from Baltimore, nigga. You are like your whole story. It never got in your head that you are a real celebrity. Like you are that nigga. But that's a problem. Because you can't, in this world, once again, people react to what you, like when you recognize that you have power, it'll emanate from you and people will react to it.
But you know what happens with a lot of, and this will sound crazy. You ever, well, I call it Justin Timberlake in the situation.
Oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you looked at NSYNC,
right?
You knew Justin was the man.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at life when you can Justin Timberlake it at any time. If you pay attention, Justin Timberlake is always the nicest nigga out the group.
That's a fact.
He's the most friendly. He's the one that will do, oh, y'all do the interview. Okay, what, we gonna go hug babies and kiss people and whatever fuck we gonna do. Justin is always out the front ready to do that.
Right.
It's always the number 2 nigga that got the attitude problem. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah, so I
didn't say get an ego. Yeah, but I said show confidence. And the thing is, a part of that is recognizing that you need to surround yourself with people that will treat you and look at you in that way.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, know what I can truly say, man. My circle of friends, like I said, we've known each other since we was 9 years old. Anybody that's come into that family through the years has always protected me. Even when I was my own worst enemy, they've always protected me. You know what I'm saying? And they always treated me or called me, yo, E, yeah, yo, what's up with the album? You good? What's going on? Yo, you recording? To this day, man, you know what I'm saying? These niggas still call me like I'm a little fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, man? April 5th. We still on it? You still doing it? Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing it. Matter of fact, Dookie called me yesterday. Yo, what's up? You coming through, right? We record. Yeah, definitely. Yo, we recording. I'll be through in a second. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I definitely... Some snakes have come through here and there.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah, I had to cut the fuck out the grass, man. I mean, the grass has been cut at this point. Like everybody,
look, you had to grow up. Certified right you had to grow up to learn that you got to keep the grass cut, and that's the reason why. You know what I'm saying?
It's dirt in that fucking lawn at this point, man. God damn, I might just cement the whole shit, man. Pave the whole goddamn front of the house.
That's not gonna stop the snakes, nigga. They'll slither over the concrete. Don't worry about it. The grass looks nicer. You know, it's more eco-friendly.
Some pieces of shit sprinkled here and there, man, to get them the fuck out the way.
That's a fact. All right, so how did you meet Dookie Man? Because I heard the Dookie Man side. Man. Give me your side. How did you meet Dookie Man? And like, what's the nigga always this crazy? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
yeah.
All right. As long as
matter of fact, him and my man, I was talking about Phil Stokes, you know what I mean? And shout out to Great Bowl Designs, you know what I'm saying? Because he and his wife own that. Phil went to school with Dookie, you know what I'm saying? But I met Duke, I think around the time, if I ain't mistaken, when he was doing the Whoa Now joint. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's a lot of drinking involved back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I remember... going to the crib. I don't even know who I went there with. It was up on Milford. Yeah, up near Milford. You know what I'm saying? I went up there one night. We were in there listening to beats, rapping and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's always been the nigga you see now. Nigga, he's always been, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of those people that you look at him and I'm like, yo, does this nigga know who he is? You know what I mean? Name wise, how talented he is. You know what I'm saying? But he's always been that nigga.
It's the same. I'm just saying that about you.
Yo, he's saying that about him. Yo, I feel the same way like with Tim Trees. Yep. Yo, Tim Trees. Scar.
Tim Trees birthed the Baltimore hip hop sound.
Yeah, man.
And he's the first person to talk about Baltimore from a Baltimorean's language and perspective. Like, yo, he is a king because of that. He was the first gumbo maker to, like, yo, he's
man.
When you say, well, what's a Baltimore nigga like? Yeah, play this little he talking about ball 50 hoes and that's some Baltimore shit. Like, man. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, continue.
But
you get me excited,
man.
Go ahead.
You ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it's weird. Like, I was with one night, the first time I met Tim Trees, me and my man Bernie Dozier. I was up your house, we was rapping, and I had never seen the nigga before. You know what I'm saying? We were in there rapping. He was like, oh yeah, yo. We ain't know who the fuck each other were. You know what I'm saying? We just in there talking and rapping and the beat's on, and Bernie down laughing. He's like, yo, that's Tim, yo, that's E Nell, this and that. He's like, yo, this shit crazy right here. Again, this before, nigga, I don't even know if Nextels was out at this time. You know what I'm saying? This is back in the day. You can't even get no photo of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And that's when I first heard, like, because I knew the radio single, yo, this nigga is nice. Like, when I heard him rap, I'm like, oh, we in there rap. I'm like, yo, this nigga is nice.
That's another thing. People do not give Tim Trees his props for being a lyricist, bro. But go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry. So, now, Doogie Man told me that y'all were doing the skits for Tim Trees' album because he's just recording y'all talking shit and then he used it for the Tim Trees album.
Yo, nigga, like I said, there's a lot of drinking involved. Yo, I'm telling you.
You didn't know that?
No,
it sounded like you was surprised when I told you.
I have no idea.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I have
no idea.
I can't wait. I haven't dropped the Dookie Man episode yet. I gotta drop it because he tells a story about how he used y'all talking shit in the studio and put it on the album.
I can believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
I can definitely believe it.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. Do you? All right. So I'm gonna name drop a couple artists. Charm City Records from back in the day because they dropped an album around that time and they had Backland and they were taking Backland around everywhere, battling everybody in the streets. Did y'all ever have any interaction with them, or did you even hear about the movement? You know what I mean? Like,
I did, man.
Because I think Backland was on 106 and Park at one point.
Yeah, I was actually a fan, man. I was actually a big fan. I never forget. I think I was at Catonsville at the time. You know what I mean? When Backland was, man, this nigga was lyrically running through motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when you come from, my focus is on making music, making songs, and then, you know, you get a nigga like Backland, nigga ain't worried about that shit right now. You feel me? That nigga like, yo, everybody I see, nigga like Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? That's how nigga. I don't even want to tell this fucking story.
Tell it.
Damn.
Tell it.
I'll never forget, man. In the heat, shout out to my Uncle Darren, man. And you know what I mean? This nigga, man. Up on Garrison, it was a barbershop. Perfect cut.
Facts.
Oh my God, yo. So we in there one day. I'm gonna say how I remember it.
Okay.
We back in the salon. So we in the back. My man Vic there. I got whatever with my man E Nell. We get fucked up. We drinking this shit. So they tell me they got this nigga that's nice, right? So they bring one nigga through. He rapping. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't impressed. I don't remember who it was. You know, we rapped about 3 people. I'm thinking that one of these is the nigga, right? So I'm throwing my shit out there. They said, nah, here he is. This nigga come through. This nigga named Hollywood. God damn it, I just said his name. Motherfucking Hollywood. And it's funny. I'm gonna tell you why it's funny. So he come in, and this is a time again. I'm focused on making records, making music. Man, this nigga Hollywood, yo. This nigga said, yo, we got guns and things. Put holes up in nigga size of onion rings. I said, motherfucker. I knew at that point, like, fuck it, I took this L. I didn't fucking took it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna roll with this L. This nigga was so nice, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, fast forward, I held on to that shit, and I always admit, like, if I take it, I'm like, yeah, man, this nigga was nice. I went back and I told niggas, like, yo, this nigga is nice, yo. Right. I told John and Vic, sign this nigga, like, do something. We got to get a song with this nigga, whatever.
Right.
Years go past. My god sister, I was talking to her one day, and her mom was like, she was like, her mom had married a guy, right? Her half sister, She was like, yeah, my father said he beat you in the salon back in. I said, motherfucker. I was like, you Hollywood. Right there, I knew who it was. I said, God damn. I was like, yeah, he did. I was like, it was bad. It was bad. And I had to relive that shit. So every time, you know what I mean? And her son is my godson. You know what I mean? Now every time I see him, I gotta think of Hollywood.
So every time the barbecue come up, he gonna be like,
man,
you know, I served your ass.
Man.
Yo, you need to get some bars for that nigga, and y'all need to put it on a record. Come
Hell
on now.
no.
Come on,
Hell
yo, son.
no,
He
man.
rusty right now, son. You
Yo,
can
that
get
nigga,
him.
yo, he wanted to get that nigga nice, man.
He's super nice.
Shout out to Hollywood. That nigga's nice, man.
Y'all need to get on the record
Nice
together.
as shit,
What's
man.
up, man?
I don't even think he rapping no more, man.
That's how I know you can get his ass. He ain't rapping no more. You can get him while he
man.
he ain't in lyrical fitness, dog. You can get it to him.
Yeah, man. That shit is crazy.
Well, you blessed, yo. You got so many rich stories with a rich
Yeah,
yo,
man.
I'm telling you, your grandkids is gonna love that shit, boy. They gonna be to tell us again a story.
Shit, nigga. By the time they come around, and been forgot these shit.
Nah, yo. That's why you need the document, yo.
Yeah, you ain't
We
lying.
need the Eric Nell documentary DVD with the next album, yo. There you go. Shoot some shit.
It means you need to get together and do that, man.
I'm with it.
Put
Yo,
that together.
it would be an honor.
Let's
You
think on
understand
that.
me?
Okay.
It
All
would
right.
be an
That's-
honor to work
yo,
with you on
that's
that,
what we
bro.
gonna do,
Like
man.
I would be honored. You talking about I'm a kid in the candy store right now, bro.
That's what we gonna do,
Like
man. We
yo,
gonna
right
get it
now,
together, man.
I'm so happy that I got this moment with you, yo. Like yo.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yo,
Like I said,
if
I
my
appreciate you
homeboys
having
was
me.
here, like all of my homeboys, like you said, niggas you grew up with when you was 9.
Yeah.
Yo, when I told them niggas that I had books, you niggas is like, yeah, I know you happy in this shit, nigga. I'm like,
That's crazy, man. I
can't
appreciate
tell me
that
nothing,
shit, man.
bro. So
Mean
like,
the
and
world
then
to me, yo.
the whole story is blowing me away because I don't know why when we think of our celebrities, we always think of them being on some kind of like golden chariot and I'm
shit,
thinking like,
man.
well, maybe this nigga rich and just don't give a fuck about niggas no more. Like I never think about everybody being human and going through human stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, I ain't never seen Facebook. Well, no, I'm lying. I seen Facebook because Dookie was on it the other day.
Right,
but
right.
other than that, I ain't never seen that shit.
What you mean you ain't seen it?
I don't have no Facebook, none of that. I ain't,
Nigga, you got a smartphone. Niggas on this. They come preloaded on the smartphone.
I don't have no Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was on there, he was like, yo, this is Facebook. I was like, that's crazy. I mean, I got Instagram, you know what I mean? But I don't know nothing about Facebook and shit. When niggas doing Black Planet, I wasn't there.
I wasn't on Black Planet.
You know
I
what
wasn't
I'm
on
saying?
Black Planet. I was on MySpace.
Okay,
that was
okay.
that was my introduction to the game, and that's so funny because that's how I first linked up with I'm about to call him Wayne Jones, but Tim Trees.
Okay.
Like I got my first interview with Tim Trees over the phone. I'm living in Atlanta. He's living in Baltimore. We connect through MySpace.
Okay.
And we did a phone interview. Same thing with Boss Man, and same thing with Mully Man.
Okay.
I linked up with all of them through MySpace, and then after that, you know, I think MySpace kind of tanked, and Facebook was kind of like the only option for like a time period, and
Right.
then Instagram came and all the other shit like that. But yo, yeah, you missed a whole time period of technology. But when you're linked into the industry and you got the relationships you got, I guess it's not really as necessary because you weren't trying to market anything.
Right, man.
Not like
I
you
had
saying
nothing
you was
to
selling
monetize,
song
like you said.
services.
Yeah.
Anybody want a song? Even though I meet people that don't have nowhere near the resume that you have, and they be online trying to sell songs. So like, they still selling them $300-$400 a piece.
Shit is crazy, bro.
So anyway, anything else you want to tell us before we get out of here?
Now, like I said, man, what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to rework, you know, the Life Made Simple, you know, to get it out there. April 5th, Don't Be Them, Ugly Boy Reese. You can add Ugly Boy Reese on Instagram. You know what I mean? Hit me up. You know, just check out the page. See
We
what's
doing an
on
album
there.
release party? What's going on?
I don't know, man. We were talking about it, you know, but I'm a wrestling fan, man. WrestleMania Sunday, I might have to lay low. You know what I mean? I might do it Saturday. You know
Hey,
what I'm
let's do
saying?
it Saturday, and
Yeah,
then
might-
that way you
might
can
do it Saturday.
You can rest
man,
on
but-
Sunday, like, or it would be dope if you did the album release party around the WrestleMania shit. You know what I
I
mean?
thought about that, man. I
You
thought
know,
about
just
that,
having
bro.
some place with a big screen and shit, and everybody can just watch and have a good time, and then the music and a little bit of this
Yo, you
before, a
might
little
be
bit of
onto
that.
something, man, because we trying to figure out how to roll that out, man. We gonna sit down and talk,
Hell
man.
yeah, nigga.
we got
And you
the
need
link,
to take
man.
you need to take some old wrestling footage, right? Some really old, go way back, and then kind of into the music, nigga. Put all that together, nigga.
See, I was thinking about that. You know, West Side Gun and them Griselda niggas.
I was just about to say that.
they
The Griselda niggas are huge wrestling fans.
I know,
yo,
man.
for real. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on one of my homeboys guys that's connected to Griselda and shit, because they're gonna want to have an interview with you. They call the Where's Buffy podcast. They ill niggas. They hip hop. Like the owner of that show is a hip hop historian like me.
Okay.
So like he like Greenspan and J Royales and all of them. Like he loved them.
Damn,
That's the
Greenspan, man. I forgot about that's my nigga, man.
That's my niggas, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, Green a finesseful fight. Yo, that's that nigga, yo. His music is like, you know what I mean?
Man.
To me, I feel like he's dropped one of the greatest hip hop albums ever come out of Baltimore. Like that Never Gonna Die album.
Okay.
Woo.
That's how I feel about Law and Order, man.
Yo,
Boss, man, I love that shit.
Yo, Law and Order is a classic. But I think I feel like Law and Order it is a classic, but there's something about Never Gonna Die. Well, I understand because it's diversity of sound.
Okay.
So when he dropped the album, you got the great R&B singing on there. You got the it's like the different colors in the record. You know what I mean? There's bright colors, there's dark colors, there's this diverse subject matter. There's so much of him. Like if you don't know him as a man, you get to understand him and learn him through his music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, him suffering losses of family members. He talks about those elements in those songs, so you can hear his different emotional states. You can hear in certain records where he's happy and he's up tempo, and then you get to hear the depression, you get to hear the darkness in it. You know what I mean? Like I could talk about this shit all day. Like Greenspan is truly a great artiste of our time, and then like to be from Baltimore, it makes me exceptionally proud. Like you know what I mean? He's definitely one of those dudes. And then you got somebody like J Royale that's just like a monster lyricist that has these crazy dark gangster street records. You know what I'm saying? But he's like the coolest nigga you ever meet. Yeah. But when he get into that booth and he starts spitting them bars, he ain't nothing to fucking play with. Like it's just so many niggas that I feel like from the time that we were young kids to now, I can literally listen to Baltimore music all day, every day.
Yeah.
And never it'll be an endless well of great music. Of just different artists. Like you can pick and choose from R&B niggas to R&B chicks to hip hop niggas and hip hop chicks. And if you want street stuff, you can get some street stuff. Backpacker. It's just a different time period because we have access to putting out our own music.
Yo, and I think it's a beautiful thing. One thing that makes me mad about people from the outside looking in, and even people from Baltimore that don't understand what it is when they say we don't have our own sound. But the crazy shit is we do have our own sound.
That's
even when you take a Greenspan and then you take Al and Street Scott and them niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Al Great, that's my nigga.
They don't sound alike, but it's still a Baltimore sound. If you take Scar and you take Los, they don't sound alike, but it's still a Baltimore sound. You know what I'm saying? The way we fucking talk, it just is what it is. You know what I mean?
Fact.
So I really think that, like you were saying, it's funny how when you're naming these people, I'm sitting here thinking the first time I met people like Greenspan, that's my god brother, Big Ron and shit. That's his cousin. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first time I met him. It's funny how I'm just thinking about all the like as far as the journey's concerned. Word. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn, it's crazy how I met this guy and you see this guy like, God damn, he's nice. And then you see his journey, you see him ascend, you know what I mean? Shit is wild, man. But
And then him and I've had conversations about you, like about how he appreciated your music and how that inspired him. Like, bro, like you don't know how much you inspired a generation of niggas. Now the thing is, we old now and we inspiring the next ones. Well, I feel like we are more putting the battery in the young niggas' backs to just be more creative and being more in control now. Whereas, I think we were just trying to be like you. We weren't trying to emulate your business because we didn't know nothing about the business side of it. So we were all just trying to be like, yo, these niggas is ill. We got to be as ill or if not iller than these niggas. Like, you know what I mean? So you kind of put the battery in probably like a boss man back. You know what I mean?
Well, it's fun. And see, that's something that comes up when I go to a like a record pool party, open mic, and I hear Scar for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And I realize like I've been over here making music, trapped in this little bubble. And I hear this shit like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? When I hear Boss Man, now here in Northeast Kings, that's one thing. But then I hear Boss Man's record and I'm like, what the fuck is going? Matter of fact, I had sent Boss Man a message. He probably had no idea it was me. You know what I'm saying? I was on YouTube and that goddamn song, man, I listen to this shit at least 2-3 times, man, a month. What what the fuck is the name of the song? Like, it's still lit. You heard that shit yet? And I was like, yo, it's no reason.
He's put out a considerable amount of music. So, man, like...
And I think it might have come out in like 16 or 17. If I'm not, I might be dead wrong. But, yo, when I found this song...
16 and 17, it was either Law and Order 2, off the Law and Order 2 album, or it was... He had dropped another one around that time.
I think they in Atlantic City or Vegas. It's him and his homeboy. And they got the girls, they in the casino walking through. And he rhyming and he blowing out the smoke. That shit is ill, man. I was like, it was no reason that this song shouldn't have at least 1 million views, man. Like, it's no reason. You know what I'm saying? I get upset when I see somebody of that caliber. You know what I'm saying? Of Scar being on Sky Zoo's album. And nobody recognizes that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole fucking city should be popping bottles in the middle of the street to say, yo, this nigga Scar is on Sky Zoo's album.
And
you know
that
what I'm saying?
Nigga Scar battled Eminem in real life.
Yeah, like this shit, that shit is just wild to me, man.
I will say the problem is on us because no one has taken the time. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. But the platforms that were created to curate and to document our history and what we're doing were underfunded, and a lot of them are like me. Like, they were just dudes that love what they was doing, that love the game and document it. But like, they created a website, but there's no money behind it. Nobody wants to fund it because everybody thinking there's no Baltimore music scene. Why would I give you money to do a site that's just Baltimore music? Because there's so much more stories that we don't know. And then the other part is, it takes a lot to not play politics. It takes a lot. It took me to be 35. And, I'm 40 now. It took me to be 35 to get to the point where I'll be like, I don't take his shit personal. If Boss Man don't want to answer me right now, fuck it. He don't want to answer me. I'm not going to go, well, I'm not messing with Boss Man no more. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh man, this person didn't come through. I get rejected all the time for interviews. But at the end of the day, I recognize that it's either time and place. There's a time and place. As a person, I need to not take that personal. I need to still post this. I need to still support. Let us not try to, because we from the same city, feel some obligation out of being from the same city that you have to give. So a lot of people will have a platform, but they will get disgruntled. Especially some of my young dudes that are they interning under me. I keep having to tell them, stop being emotionally connected to the artist. He's just an artist. He didn't treat you right that day or didn't show you the love you felt like you deserve. He's an artist. You don't know what the fuck that crazy nigga going through. Artist is crazy, period.
But you know what? One thing that I look at, and it's a few people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you, like my man Troy Boy, dude, Slick Yo, Rico Reed, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, you know Rico Reed?
Yeah,
that's the big homie.
It's me reaching out and saying, yo, that shit hard. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga hitting me back like, yo, appreciate it, bro, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Just building that rapport. It's nothing I won't do for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's nothing I won't do for these niggas. Just like with you, just having me on here, having me on your platform. Yo, it's nothing I won't do for you. Call me, yo, E, I need this, I need blah. Yo, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you say, because like, even like with me losing my parents, I'm emotionless to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to business, I'm the same way when I'm being turned down. But whoever gives me that shot, nigga, you can call me for the rest of your fucking life. For any favor you need, I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
You're living in a different position. Like, my responsibility is to document and to put it out. It's not to be a part of it. Like, my job is not to be a part of the history and go back and forth. If you don't like me personally or whatever, I can still write the story and put it out. Because if I'm going to be if my platform is going to be a true representation of the history of Baltimore, I have to tell the whole story, not a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And so regardless of how that person feels in that moment, as long as I'm documenting that history in that moment, or the single got released on this date, the album came out on this date, yo, this person did this and this person did that. Like, that's the only thing that's important. Because generations later, because number one, that adds to the validity of my platform. And number two, we need to have something that people can go back to and say, all right, well, these are the artists that kept working. These are the artists that broke through. These are the first people that did this, the first people. And then because they are young people, I kind of like always keep thinking about my nieces, my nephews, my cousins. Like, they need to know. So when they run in their mouth ignorantly saying, ain't nobody never come out of Baltimore. No. Look at this YouTube channel. Watch all of these interviews and you will see just how deep the game goes. Like, I'm one of very few people that could surmise about how deep the game was because I looked at the connections. I'm a fucking investigator by nature. So I knew I was calling architect studios the Illuminati for 10, 15 years. And people were like, why the fuck you say that? I said, because there are too many people that record at this studio. There are too many things happening. I don't know, but it seemed like every nigga that popped had something to do. It was at Architects at One. And then when I sat down and did an interview with Mike McIntosh,
my nigga,
it all starts coming out. Mike McIntosh, yeah, Young Moose, he came to me, broke his shit out of the jail. Oh yeah, Lil Scooter, yeah, we took him from da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, Boss Man, well, we worked with him. Oh yeah, Money Man, oh yeah. It's like, yo, it is what it is.
Mark McIntosh.
Mike Mac is that man. I recorded songs with him back in 2002. Go ahead.
That nigga Mike, man, I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. That nigga is not just an engineer, man, not just a producer, not just a, you know what I mean, just not a record label owner.
He's everything.
That nigga was my big brother, man. Like, he's the nigga that, and this is where it's not music, that I called when, in my mind, I'm Eric Nell. My girl is arguing with Eric. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why she can't understand that I'm Eric Nell. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. And I call Mike, he's nigga. You drinking? Sit your ass down, man. Nigga, where you at? Yo, come past the studio, man. Come over and talk to me, man. Like, this nigga would talk me off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that told me, matter of fact, my first, I think it was the first mixtape I did. You know what I mean? Who is Reese Gam when I decided to leave Eric Nell alone? I went to Yo. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this is what I need. Yeah, man, that shit is crazy, man. I owe a big part of who I am to that nigga, man, because one thing he always did is keep it 100, man. He was always him. You know what I'm saying? Mike has always been him. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He the type of nigga that if you don't like him, you don't like yourself, man.
That's a fact.
For real. You know what I'm saying? He put me on the first joint, the Street Soldiers. Yo, he has put me, like, anytime he was gonna do something, he always was like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate them brothers, man.
Good dude, man. Good dude. Like, yo, he granted me, he's never done an interview. For real? He's never done an interview. And when we were sitting down, like, it took me 2 months to get the nigga in the room. Yeah. And then once we did it.
That's a funny nigga too, man.
He's funny as shit. Like, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because when the first time I met him, like I said, it was like 2002. I recorded 2 songs at the studio. I was working on music, and he didn't say shit to me while we was in the session. I knew he was funny because the way he would respond to me, and then like, and I knew he was serious because it was just not like serious in a way it's business. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm not gonna tell you right or you wrong, because I would be like, yo, what do you think about the record? They'd be like, that ain't my job. The only thing I'm here to do is make sure that you're presenting it properly. I'm not here to tell you right. He's like, because. And at the time, I kind of got emotional, but then I started thinking about it, and he kind of explained it. He was like, yo, I don't know if it's right or not. I don't know what you're going for. I don't know what your purpose is. So, like, if I would have put my input on it, now it's becoming my song. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go on that journey alone. The only thing I can do is make sure to tell you, he didn't say that right, so say it again. Or you stumbled here and you fumbled, and that's not the lyric. So, like, you need to, you know what I mean? So, like, and I felt like from that moment, I felt like he was such a dope person. And then I met Tim Trees just in passing. Like, I was there for a mixing session, and then Tim Trees was there, and he was like introduced us, and like we talked, and it was like, wow, this is lit. Man. So like Mike Mac is an ill nigga just in that respect, for real. Right. So like, yeah, but like, yo, once again, I was about to say we gotta go. It's been like what, almost 2.5, almost 3 hours, probably, man. Probably. Yo, but thank you again, sir. Well, thank you, yo. The blessing of the story and the I'm telling you, this made my fucking first part of my year. You fucking blew this shit out of.
Cuss me out for some of these stories.
You and Dookie Man, boy. You and Dookie Man. Dookie Man came on this joint. Oh my god, yo, and told some wild stories, bro. Had me thinking like, damn, why wasn't I there? I should have been older. Damn, you know what I'm saying? I got stuck in the in-between part of the game. Like,
shit, you ain't missed nothing, man. You ain't missing a goddamn thing.
A whole lot of Hennessy, whole lot of weed, whole lot of craziness going on. So like, you know what I'm saying? I wish you nothing but your complete and utter success, yo. And happiness. I think
to you, brother.
It's so important, yo. And the fact that you looking good and you telling a coherent story shows me you in a good place in your life.
Definitely, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still a fan. I will forever be a fan. I will cherish the CDs you gave me.
I'm grateful.
You know what I mean? I will definitely be there, whatever form you decide to do the album release party. We gonna turn up for real. You know what I mean? I gotta find out about this clothing line shit you coming because I gotta set you straight. You gotta have fat boy sizes, and if you don't, we got a problem out here.
You need, man.
You know what I mean? You gotta make sure you service the big niggas in the community because Baltimore got a lot of big niggas, and we just like
hit me up, man. I got you, man.
You know what I mean? Do they have a website that they can go to get clothes?
It's gonna be weloveugly.com, but if you go there right now, it's nothing on there. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Like you said, you gotta brand everything, gotta monetize everything. Yeah, so it should be launching, I wanna say it's supposed to be February 19th, which is my birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Aquarius in the building. Or is it
Pisces?
Pisces? Okay, my bad. I apologize.
Right on the cusp of that. You feel me? That's what like the February 19th is like for lunatics and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
got you.
Right in there.
I can see you being a kind of lunatic.
Yeah, man. I mean, so yeah, we're probably gonna launch it like maybe like March 15th, something like that, if everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Got you.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, for right now, if they go to at Ugly Boy Reese on Instagram, it'll be, you know, in the bio.
Gotcha.
So you can just click on
you
there.
can do all of the custom stuff. So like when you say custom clothes, tell me about what do you create?
Right now we've been doing like jackets, you know what I'm saying? Like this was one of the hoodies, you know what I'm saying? This was the God hoodie. And basically we had the God because it was for the Bay Area, Baltimore, and Detroit, spots that really needed God. You know what I'm saying? We felt like needed a blessing. So we had, you know, like the sleeves were done as far as this sleeve over here being the devil. You know what I'm saying? Being your conscience. You know what I'm saying? And this was Jesus. And this is actually, this black Jesus was the first painting ever done of Christ.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I took that and I wanted it to look like a kid did it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But it was a lot of meaning behind the hoodies. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I launched these and I told everybody, it's a guy named Boss Hog. You know what I'm saying? Boss Hog Macaroni. People always say to me like, yo, you listen to an ex-pimp? I was like, yeah, man. Nigga that I'm
the illest rhymes probably.
This nigga, man, on YouTube and on Instagram, nigga changed my life, man. I remember he said, yo, if you don't set your price, other niggas will set it for you. So I never forget a lot of jackets, you know, I still do the jackets for, you know, like $225, you know what I mean? For like custom, like denim jackets, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Shoes go a little bit extra. Niggas buy the shoes. I might paint them for like $150, $175. But when I dropped these hoodies, I was like, yo, they $250. And that's it. I ain't want to hear nothing about it. Yo, a lot of people said, yo, who gonna pay $250 for a hoodie? Why is it $250? I said, yo, because that's what I want. And I started to see my Cash App go. I started to see my PayPal go. Niggas like, yo, check your Cash App, man. I want one. I want this. I want that. Yo, and I just realized, yo, that I had to know my worth. You know what I'm saying? And not that, I mean, a couple niggas try to shortchange me. You feel me? Still ain't get no goddamn hoodie.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But still, you know,
just send them the message when you give me the other half. I got you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the point was, I just knew at that point, like, yo, I have a product that people want. You know, I have something that people want, and I'm not gonna sell myself short. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, yo, you gotta know your worth. You have to. Fact. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't believe in it, like anytime I got a problem asking for money, you know what I'm saying, for something, like if you say, yo, how much is that, E? And I stutter, that means I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm trying to get over on you.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So now though, going forward, like I said, we got the custom denim jackets. It's a lot of stuff on the page. Jeans, all types of shit, man. But the line is going to be incredible. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, everything is hand done. It's a few screen printed joints. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like 3 screen printed hoodies. You know what I'm saying? But everything else is hand painted, hand sewn. You know what I mean? But yeah, check it out,
deep,
man.
Nigga.
Yeah, go ahead and check it. Definitely check it out,
old
man.
style savant out this bitch.
Yeah, man. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to do a few things. You know what I'm saying?
All right, yo, don't forget, yo, the more artsy you look, yo, the more shit you gonna sell. So just get crazy with it, yo. Get the crazy fingernail, get a coke fingernail out here.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Come on, bro. Like, you know, trying to show them some weird shit. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna make the bitches come. Well, they probably already come, but that's still not
the coke fingernail.
Gotta keep the coke fingernail. Shit, I got one of these right now. My shit used to be longer, but I don't do coke. But you just want to let niggas know I'm from that generation. Let y'all niggas know. Yo, this ain't a game, nigga. We do slap the shit out of niggas. You know, I'll give a backhand out this bitch. So yeah, I mean,
well, I'm gonna put something together for y'all, man.
Yo, let's go. Let's go. I'm with it.
We gotta stay in touch, nigga.
Yo, we will stay in touch. Don't get that twisted, because we doing that documentary, nigga. So
I'm with it.
We gotta make sure y'all follow this man on Instagram, because he does not have a Facebook.
At Ugly Boy Reese.
Yo, make sure you check for his music. DM him for the CDs. DM him for the hoodies. DM him for the custom jackets. Yo, DM him just to be like, yo, if you was an LMS fan, just hit the nigga and tell him how much you appreciate him just being an LMS fan.
Even if you wasn't, man, hit me up.
That's cool. There you go.
And we'll talk about why you ain't a fan. Try to make you a fan.
There you go. That works too. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to follow us at Aries Lounge. Also, don't forget to follow me at JS1 Tha Supplier. You know what I'm saying? All of the information, vvcradio.com. We love y'all. We check y'all next time. Please go back to the YouTube channel, VVC Life, and check all of the interviews that we have and enjoy it. We hope to hear y'all next time. Don't forget to keep locked for the documentary. We love y'all. We out. Peace.